Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good, man? It's lit, man. It's lit, man. Saturday Night Live, man. Sorry, but not sorry. Boxing talk, man. Ohio run motherfucking boxing. You dig?
What's
My
good,
brother
man?
Mark is in the building with me, man. We about to have a good one, man. We got mad topics to cover tonight. Of course, I know everybody. I see the main topic at hand. Floyd Schofield Jr. gets exposed badly by Abdullah Mason. You feel me? So, yeah, man. It's definitely gonna be a motherfucking good one for sure, man. Let me go and salute people in the chat already in the building. Salute to my brother D Free over there. All things. Salute to my brother. All things. Always supporting, man. One of the YouTube goats out here in the chats, always for sure. Ring Wild Boxing Podcast. My brother Bean. What's good with you, brother, man? Hopefully you come on here with us. Supreme Allah Sheik, my boy Big Supreme. Salute to my brother Supreme Allah Sheik. That whole boy was good, brother. Big Dre was good. Was good. Thrill Hill was good, my brother. Yeah, round one was good. Jag Queen Boxing was good. Says, yeah, go ahead and get you something to eat. I already know you cooked up for a few hours. Says, yeah, get yourself something to eat. You know what I mean? You already know. Yeah, man. So, how you feeling tonight, my brother?
Pretty good, man. Ate, you know what I'm saying? Got my little eat on, but been talking to a lot of coaches today. It's been coaches day, it seemed like, but I've been talking to a lot of coaches in Ohio.
Facts, facts,
But
facts,
yeah,
man. Yeah. It was crazy, man, because, I mean, we ain't had too much action on the fights this weekend for real. Obviously, today they had one card with Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank, which is, I'm going to just, briefly go over that. I watched like two fights from that card today. So I'll briefly go over that. Salute to my brother Dane Father out there, too, man. Yeah, man. So it wasn't too much action, like I said. Just starting off the day, we can go on. So, of course, Joe Cordina, he had a fight. Well, not Joe Cordina had a fight today, of course, and he is that rain walk? Yeah, there you go. All right, Joe Cordina had a fight today, man. It was eh, it wasn't nothing crazy for real, man. He did get the stoppage though. He got a technical stoppage, you know what I mean? So Joe Cordina, he
mm,
got the win today in his first fight back after getting knocked out by Kakas. And then Jack Catterall, he won today. Jack Catterall won by early stoppage. Well, it was the judge's decision in the fight, as far as Jack Catterall earlier, because his eye got fucked up, whatever, you know what I mean. But before he went out in that last round, he was, the doctors checked him and everything, and he was good. And then they ended up stopping the fight. But Jack Catterall wins by decision today against Harlem Eubank, which is that wasn't nothing, nothing really crazy fight for real, man. To be
right,
honest,
right.
but yeah, I mean, but we can go ahead and get started to the juice of the topic starting off, man. And crazy shit. I seen this shit with my boy Jake Paul today, man. We're gonna start off with Jake Paul, man. Ohio shit out the gate. Um, right here. They said the WBA is to review the ranking of Jake Paul after criticism. And this is what was said from them. They said, due to heavy criticism, outrage, and other ranked contenders, the WBA will review Jake Paul's cruiserweight ranking at their upcoming European convention in Madrid, which takes place July 15th through the 18th. The WBA ranked Paul at number 14th in his cruiserweight rankings after his lackluster win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. last Saturday. Chavez Jr. wasn't ranked at cruiserweight, and his last notable win came in 2012 at middleweight. Paul has never defeated a ranked boxer unless you count his fight with the 50-year-old Mike Tyson. So you got that right there with Jake Paul right there. Some of them guys that's ranked in the WBA as far as the cruiserweights, man, they trying to get Jake Paul out of the rankings right here, man. And then Jake Paul had a tweet today where he mentioned he said, "Shout out to the WBA and Gilberto for being disruptors and not being afraid to recognize me. Seeing all these lists with current champion Badu Jack, give me him next. Then he tagged MVP promotions in the WBA. So
Mm.
how y'all feeling right here about Jake Paul right here, the cruiserweights in the WBA trying to get him out of the rankings, man?
Well, what y'all want me to do? Be biased or unbiased here? Because the WBA, when it comes to the WBA, a lot of people don't know this. The president, damn near, is from Ohio.
Talk about it.
The WBA, he's from Venezuela, but he moved down here when he was 20. He was in Toledo, Ohio. He went to college, so he a Rocket. So yeah, man, it's a lot of Ohio ties there, to see why he's put there. But let's be honest, it's a lot of it's a lot of money involved. I mean, why are we acting surprised? I just don't get it. Where you see a guy moving up ranks, we see this all the time. But when it comes to Jake, now all of a sudden people are feeling away. See, that's my thing. It's the double standard. It's who it is.
Right.
It's who it is. It's like I've been calling out on these rankings, even when it's my own Ohio guys, and people forget Adrian Broner was ranked number 8 before he lost to Blair. How did Broner get to 8?
Fact.
How was Broner 8? Don't tell me something he did 6 years ago is why he's at 8. Like, no. It's the name. It's the reason why Klitschko can come out of retirement for 2 years and fight for a vacant belt against Anthony Joshua. It's the same reason. They don't have a system where we can actually look at how things are supposed to be and be like, okay, he go here, he's supposed to do this. They've been their own rules. So that's my only thing. They change all the darn time. So for people to be pressing back, here's my thing. Which one do you want? Do you want Jake to get ranked high so you can see him get knocked out? Or do you want him to be able to say, oh, I can't get on the rankings, so I might as well keep on fighting MMA fighters? Like,
Facts.
which one do you want?
Right,
Which
bro.
one do you want? So it's like, I don't get it. I don't think he's ready. I think he's saying he want Badu Jack next. I don't think Jake should be fighting on Badu Jack next. But he should be fighting a ranking opponent. I think that's fair. If you're going to be ranked, you got to be able to fight some ranked guys. That's with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only criticism with it. But all the other stuff is just hypocritical. Everybody picking and choosing with the fake outrage.
Facts, bro. What you think about it, Bean?
Oh man, I was just sitting back and digesting what brother Marcus put down right there. Uh, I mean, pretty much the way I feel is that Jake, he knows the position he wants to be in as far as getting his feet wet in the boxing game. So
Mm-hmm.
if he's all in like he's portraying to be, I mean, hey, give a dog a bone. You know what I'm saying? So let him go ahead and start fighting these boxers. A lower tier level, obviously, and then see how he fares. You know what I mean? See how he does at that lower tier or whatever, and then he can take it from there. You know what I mean? Baby step. You know, like everybody else, baby stepping.
Right. I know me and Marcus, we talked about this shit before, you know what I'm saying, a couple of days ago with Jake, far as, him being ranked, you know what I'm saying, on the side. And I am, no, I'm with you guys. I feel like Jake should fight another contender among the rankings, but he shouldn't get the straight shot to a title out the gate. And then I thought about him, pushing this for this right here. Him talking about him wanting to fight Badu Jack. He think Badu Jack is the easiest way to get him a title. So, so that's what he thinking right there. He like, shit, give me Badu Jack, because he think he can beat Badu Jack. But Badu Jack, he's supposed to have a rematch with the guy that he fought on the last card. You know what I mean? That he was on, and they're supposed to run that fight back. So definitely interested to see how this works, though. But it's crazy that they definitely some of them cruiserweight, contenders, they trying to get him out of the damn trying to get him out of the rankings, dog. That's some nasty work, man.
Yeah, it is nasty work. I just think people got to look at the bigger picture, because if it was me, I would pitch it to the people who's trying to get him out of the rankings. You want Jake up there because he is the money man. They know that. So if you wanna get the bag, let him get up there in the rankings so you can knock him out. Let him get high up there, because some fighters is also looking at that as easy work. Can you imagine
Facts.
having Jake as your as a mandatory? Like that's how you have to look at it. But I said this before. I would not be surprised if something happened in the sanction bodies where Jake find himself fighting for a world title and the belt is vacant. I've seen this plenty of times in boxing history. I've been doing this covering boxing for about 18 years. So I've seen who Canelo fought for his first world title fight. It was Matthew Haddon. Okay? They handed him the belt. What is he doing fighting Matthew Haddon for a world title, his first world title shot? Right? Then when he went to 168, Canelo fought Idra. What's his name? Indrum. I can't even say his name though. The first he won,
Yeah.
he fought for the WBC belt at 168 with this guy. There are fights they will put you in where they hand you the belt. Julio Cesar Chavez is another one. Junior, where the way he won his belt, and how they set that up. They stripped Sergio Martinez from his belt, the WBC, and gave it and put it in a position where it was vacant for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to get it. If they want you to become a world champion in the sanctioning bodies, they will put you in the position to become a world champion. And this goes with my Ohio fighters too. Adrian Broner lost to Sean Porter. Guess what? Sean Porter went on a layoff for a second right after that fight. I think it was hard I think he was trying to keep Thurman fight, but it was postponed. And it was some other thing, but he was inactive because he couldn't get the fight. Broner next fight coming off the loss was in Cincinnati for a vacant WBA title that made him a
Mm-hmm.
4-division champion. Right? So what are we
Facts.
talking about? What are we talking about at the end of the day? Like, this is what happens. This is how it goes. So buckle up, and just get used to it, because this is how the sanctioning bodies work. They always been working like this. No surprise. That's why I use my history and statistics, because you ain't about to get me to talking about one thing. Oh, that's just one thing. No, I got 7 of them in the bag. That's how they move. It's the money. They move where the money is. Always has,
Facts, bro. I'm
always
glad you
will.
talked about the money part too, because that's when we talked about that shit the other day too with Jake.
Yeah.
Maybe they is trying to push Jake in contention to where he can having one of them titles, and he's the money guy in boxing. So definitely, man, that's a very interesting aspect of it too, for sure,
And
bro.
let me say this too. This is another
Go
reason
ahead.
why you should be okay with it, because the cruiserweight division ain't being promoted as much. They don't show cruiserweight fights
Right.
at the same time, so we don't even get to see the cruiserweight fighters. You need a person with a name. I've always said this. When I seen NUA, Chocolate Tito, and those small weight classes, guess what? We had some Ohio guys that was in small weight classes, right? We had them in
Right.
small weight class. The first thing I tell those little guys is at 118, 112, I said, guess what? Y'all better pray this guy keep winning. Because the more he wins, the more opportunity you gonna have a chance to get on that stage and showcase. Because what they do is they start looking at everybody in that division. Now that they're gonna start showcasing y'all fights, that is the guy that's gonna help y'all eat. They don't look at it that way. I have to teach them to look at it that way. He is your hope, because if he go down, the cruiserweight is gonna stay the same where it been. We see fights here and there, and then we just keep it pushing. No one cares about the cruiserweight. You need somebody with some buzz. And I remember they tried to do this with Canelo. Y'all remember this? They was trying to bring Canelo up there fight at Bridgerweight, the new weight class that they was making. You need a star to help you promote that weight class for people to start watching the weight class. This is how that WBO got solidified as the 4th title, where you need 4 titles to become undisputed. Because once you get a recognized name to hold that belt, then we can start pushing that narrative. Now Prince Nassim had that WBO belt. Yeah, okay, WBO. Okay, now they're gonna be solidified as one of the 4 because it was only 3. You need the name to change the game.
Facts, bro. Facts. My boy, salute to my brother William Old School from Angry White Man Boston Podcast. He said the sanctioning bodies ain't pushing anyone who isn't bringing them the money. Right
Yep.
here, for sure. And then salute the tax right here. He said cruiserweight was always a graveyard, even with saturated talent.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Absolutely, for sure. Well fucking said, for sure, man.
I
And
think you can bring it though. I think Jake can change that landscape because everybody is going to be. Because if he's the villain, let's say he's the villain, which I think he is. That's what makes it so good. He's the villain.
facts.
People who don't like him, oh, he's a clown in boxing. So what do you want the outcome to be? I want him to get knocked out. That means you have to go pay to see him get knocked out. You're gonna get pay-per-view, or even if you fake stream it. You are interested in seeing that man lose. So that's what brings it. You get what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
that brings it. No matter what you call it, a circus or whatever you are invested. You are invested. So that's why it's important to have him up there because we want to get a guy that we're gonna root for to knock him out. I want to see Jake laid on his back. Well, guess what? Let him stay ranked 14. Move him up to 9 after the next fight. Move him. If you want to get what you want to get, you got to play the game the way it's got to be played.
Facts. Facts. I don't like everybody giving a whole problem with Jay being ranked. I don't have a problem with this. The fucking cruiserweight division. It ain't much crazy comp up there, so I'm cool with it as long as he fighting guys within that ranking, that sanctioning body. I'm cool with whatever he's doing. I just want to see him fight some of them other contenders and then possibly get a shot at one of them titles if he can.
Yeah, because I see a lot of casuals. They don't even bring up other names. Like, well, so and so deserves to be in front of him. They're not even saying that. That just lets you know that how lackluster the cruiserweight division is. Because ain't nobody putting up the hard extreme court boxers. They will tell you who needs to be there and who doesn't. That really watch the cruiserweight and all these other weight classes. But for the most part, don't nobody even know who's who in those weight classes. That's the problem.
Facts, facts. And salute to Mrs. Cam J, the beautiful Mrs. Cam J Network. Salute to my baby for
How
sure.
you doing?
Always supporting for sure. Yeah, I mean, and then my boy Thrill Hill, he said, "Is Jake good enough to stay up?"
That's a good question. I'm gonna say this. He didn't already made it far enough. He made it too far as it is for him not having an amateur background and fighting on pay-per-view. That's a lot of pressure in itself for a guy who didn't have that much boxing experience coming in here. It's abnormal. It's not really normal. That's why they have to call his fights stage and fake because he ain't supposed to do that. But the way boxing pans out, the way it is, it's about great matchmaking too. Because I'm not one of those conspiracy theories calling something fake because I can't explain what's going on in the ring. I'm not one of them.
Right.
I'm not one of them.
Right.
I'm not one of them. So I hear a lot of people was trying to call it rigged because they can't explain what's going on. Julio Cesar Chavez wasn't throwing punches. Julio Cesar Chavez is old. Julio Cesar Chavez was known for being a quitter. Was known for not really putting it all his heart into the fight. He was a perfect opponent for Jake Paul. So when I hear people say he didn't throw punches, and that's how you know it's rigged, then guess what? You're talking about all damn near half of Adrian Broner fights at 147. Was his fights rigged? Was he because he wasn't letting his hands go?
Talk
Like,
about it.
come on now. So my thing is when we get so emotional, we sound like casuals, and I'm talking about the ones who actually know the sport. They just start going into these casual talking points like what? So it's fixed because he ain't throwing his hands, but Luis Ortiz was winning against Wilder for 7 rounds, but Wilder was letting him win as part of his strategy to knock him out. It's a risky game plan, but that's what Wilder did in the second fight. So those things, I think it was a strategy that went wrong against Julio. I think if Julio had the tank and engine, he would have been able to put on a better performance. But he's an older guy. I mean, Father Time is undefeated. He was trying to wear Jake down and then a step on the gas at the end and to see if Jake, had something left. But Jake was still young and held his own. But Jake lost those last couple rounds. I don't know what people talking about. Jake didn't win.
Yeah.
He lost when Julio was trying to go against his game plan. So, but that was a good question about him. Didn't want to go rant for long, but that was a good question
Oh yeah.
about how can he stay up? Because here's another thing. Jake got the crowd like Tank Davis does. People forget that the man then already lost. That's the amazing part about this thing. It's like,
Right.
did you
Right.
forget he got a loss on his record? And you get what I'm saying? Some fighters
Right.
can afford to lose. I think Jake can lose, and if you don't get knocked out or embarrassed, people are gonna still want to watch him because they want to see him get embarrassed. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So if the
Facts.
moral victory is right there, all he has to do is perform and make it competitive, and he's there. You see what I'm saying? They want him to get outclassed so bad so they can say, "See, I told you he wasn't what he was." But no, Jake is getting better. Jake is getting better. So I think he can actually afford a loss with a good performance where people will still respect him. They're going to
Right.
still watch him.
Because motherfuckers lost. They forgot about him fighting Tommy Fury, and he lost to Tommy Fury.
And
And you know what I mean? I was one of the guys saying like I wanted him to run that back, but
yeah,
apparently right now Jake Paul is saying that Tommy Fury want more money and stuff and everything, and that ain't happening. So it is what it is. But
but see,
I'm all yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
but see, that's why you don't want to do guys like that a favor because you gave him an opportunity. He won. This is what I tell people all the time. You can beat the man and still won't be the man. Tommy Fury is the
Right.
perfect example of that. He still need Jake. So why are you talking about you need more money? What have you done after the win of Jake Paul? This is fighters do this all the time. I remember when American got knocked out by British Prescott, right? And he was at the top at the time. Did American go back to that rematch? Nope. And
Hell nah.
where is British Prescott?
Nowhere to be fucking found.
You can beat the man and still won't be the man.
Absolutely right there, brother. For real, man. So we can go ahead and go to this next topic right here, man, which was real interesting what I seen right here with Harrison Lubin right here.
Mm-hmm.
So Harrison Lubin, he speaks about the top gets crowded, let's make it happen, champ, tagging Virgil Ortiz name.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, just a reminder, just to add context to this, Erickson Lubin is the number one contender for the IBF title at the 154-pound division. So then you got Bakram. Bakram, the champion for the IBF at 154. He tells Erickson Lubin, send the contract punching bag. Nobody wants to make this happen. And remember, every word you say comes with consequences. So think carefully before you speak. And
I love
the
that.
man Erickson Lubin responds to him. He says, I won the mandatory spot. Then you guys start talking about Josh Kelly like I won't smoke both of you on the same night. There's consequences for you making me wait so long like I didn't earn this shit. Just wait till I get my hands on you. So what y'all think about this with Erickson Lubin right here and Bakram going back and forth? Bakram tells him to send a contract. Got a little off to me a little bit with him being the champion, but I don't know. You have to somebody to explain that to me a little bit further on that.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can go. You
I
can go.
like it,
Bean,
man.
yeah, go ahead, Bean.
I like that back and forth, man. That definitely I rock with Erickson Lubin, you know what I'm saying? So uh and I can respect it, you know what I'm saying? You at that level and you ain't ducking no smoke and you want the top dogs, you know what I mean? You want the big fish, you know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm all for that, man. That's what boxing is about, man. The best fighting the best, man, because in this era it had been so many situations that slipped through the cracks based on uh splits of who gonna get this cut of money, who's gonna get 70-30, or who's gonna, you know what I mean? You know how boxing get. It get real messy like that. So this is good to see. And I hopefully out of this something come out of it. You know what I mean? Like they actually get the fights to come to fruition.
Facts, facts, facts.
I'm with you, man. I think I just heard Taxley say Lubin gonna get his ass kicked. Ain't no worry about Lubin. That's funny. You know, I hate to say it, I agree with him, but I do like. This is my problem with what was going with this back and forth, right? This is my problem with it. Erickson Lubin has fought 5 damn title eliminators. He shouldn't have to send no contract to nobody. He lost 1 title eliminator, but it seemed like PBC don't believe in Lubin, in my opinion, because why else did you keep having this guy on the side like a side chick waiting for a title opportunity? Do you think he's gonna fold like he did against Jamel, or haven't he learned? To me, he's a dog. I don't think he wins this fight. I personally don't think he wins this fight, but you ain't gonna tell me he hasn't earned his way back to a title shot. That's what you're not going to tell me. So I do believe Erickson Lubin deserve a shot, but for him, but for the IBF champion to be trying to make it like sending the contract, no, the IBF is supposed to be setting up this mandatory for you to fight your
Right.
this eliminator, because that's what Erickson Lubin just fought in Florida, a title eliminator. So I want to help people
Absolutely.
understand this. When you see these guys going back and forth, it's so important for you to know how this thing works. That's just talk. Inbox, you should get in touch with PBC. PBC should be talking to him. It's like that's why I always watch how these rankings move, because I'm like, Lubin has been there for a minute. You know, he didn't fight eliminator after eliminator. He beat Terrell Duche, that was a title eliminator. He lost to Sebastian, and then he came back and fought what's his name? Ramos. I think it's Ramos. Beat
Yeah.
Ramos, and that was a title eliminator. It's like, why y'all keep giving this guy title eliminators and there's no title? Erickson Lubin is the title eliminator champion right now. You know, it's
Man, bro,
crazy.
for talk
It,
about it, bro. Because it's like he's a mandatory now, and then you got Bacron telling him to send the contract. I'm like, you champion. Harrison just fought on he just fought what's the
on
name
Pro
that you know
Box.
what I mean on
Pro
Pro
box.
Box. You feel
Yeah.
So
me? So like he
what
just
does
fought on
that
Pro
tell
Box.
you?
His last fight was a title eliminator. So it looked like Lubin ain't so much in a loop with PBC, as far as in the
See,
plans with them a little
I
bit, in my
agree with
opinion, as
you
far as how
100%.
I look at it.
I agree 100%, because that's my thing. I'm scratching my head like, wait a minute, he can't get on the undercard of PBC. Why is he on Pro Box? I'm like, why is he fighting in Florida on Pro Box instead of being on Prime or on PBC, just PBC Prime? Uh, Lubin is a name. Lubin is a good name. I still like I like him in certain fights, but this fight for him, I just don't see him winning. I like him in this fight. I like him to get his fight. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not using my personal opinion of the outcome in the fight just to say he don't deserve it or not. That has nothing to do with it. The man has came back strong, and he won a fight, and he's won another title eliminator. How many times are you going to put these guys in title eliminators? You know what I mean? So Charles Conwell went through the similar thing, being a mandatory for damn near a year and a half, almost 2 years, and then all he
Man,
did was get skipped. Earl jumped him, Berlachek jumped him. You know, Sebastian Fedor jumped him. It was just like, what is wrong with these rankings, man? It's like, so that's what I always expose those things, man. It's just crazy.
right? You see my boy Elder Boss. He said Bacron just filed his mandatory, which was Tim Zoo per IBF rules. He is due for a voluntary, which is I knew Bacron was negotiating another fight. I'm assuming with Josh Kelly from what Erickson Lubin was saying on his tweet, and those negotiations ain't all the way go through 100%. So now you got Lubin pressing Bacron for the fight, and Bacron send the contract and everything, man. Hopefully they can get this fight going, man, because I think this definitely would be a good one. But with L Dub saying as far as the voluntary, I'm interested to see who the voluntary would be for as the IBF. You know what I'm saying? If
Why
it's not
wouldn't
going to
it
be
be?
Josh
Why
Kelly.
wouldn't it be a guy who has 5 title eliminators though? That's what I don't get it. Like you would be able to be like,
Right.
I see this guy got 5 title eliminators. So you're telling me he has to? I hope you paying him step aside, Well, he's not a mandatory; it's a voluntary. So he has to fight another title eliminator while you fight a voluntary to somebody else. Make it make sense.
Facts,
If
bro.
that's what the title eliminator was for. So now I got to go back and see which one this was, because he probably had title eliminators from every sanctioning body and still didn't get a shot because of the politics. Luda
Facts,
doesn't
bro.
those he doesn't carry a big fan base, and I hate saying this. That's the problem I have with boxing politics, bro. Because they looking at, can he sell this? That he fought in the first time as headline in his hometown, the first time on Pro Box.
Facts. What you think about this? You got any more on this, Bean?
I ain't got no more on that, family.
Okay, then. Okay, we can move forward then. We can move forward. So let's get to the man, Ryan Garcia, right here. So Ryan Garcia, he back on Twitter, back active and everything. This man mentioned saying, "Rolly, let's run it back." And then in this next tweet, he says, "At a boxing fight at the White House," which is, they doing a UFC fight at the White House apparently coming soon. Apparently, so that's what Ryan Garcia is referencing to right
That's
here.
dope.
And then he says this. He said, "I wouldn't mind fighting Haney at the White House." And then here goes Devin Haney's response. He said, "Get back on your drug testing, then." So, dang, nasty work, bro. Nasty work.
Oh man.
So what y'all think about this with Ryan Garcia, man? He talk about you want to fight at. He said he telling Rolly let's run it back, and then he's saying he would like to fight at the White House and fight Devin Haney there. And then you got Devin Haney right here saying get back on your drug tester. Then within Devin Haney having a fight with Brian Norman Jr. in November in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I think it's going backwards for Devin right now. No matter what, I think it's going backwards. Ryan is looking to boost his confidence up with Devin, or trying to get a fight, maybe after the Brian Norman fight. But no, man, it's like, no, do something to create a buzz to make us want. People do want to see the rematch, but do something to create a buzz, like to want to for people to get that rematch. I'm not gonna throw you a bone, bro, because you sure didn't throw me a bone when you stepped on that scale 3 pounds over, and then you was cheating on top of that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
if I'm Devin, no, I'm not fighting him yet. I'm because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people still got Devin losing the Norman, which I got a different opinion on
I'm
that,
one
but
of them.
that's just me. Well, you want to? Yeah, I'm different. I got a different opinion on that, but I think he just got to worry about Norman right now. I think Ryan is trying to find. He needs to find it. He needs to build his confidence, man. I mean, he's talking right now, but he needs to build his confidence. He just need a fight with a guy that he can actually look good against to get his confidence back. I don't think Ryan really have his confidence back right now.
Yeah, man. Me personally with this right here, I mean, I'm all for I'm all for this. If he want to do this, you know what I mean? And that's if Rolly is willing. But right now, it looks like Rolly is waiting for that Pacquiao versus Barrios winner. That's what he look like. Is what he waiting for right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But Ryan got to get in there. He got to get active, man. He said, his wrist surgery went well, and he's healing back from a video I seen on one of his socials on IG. So, shit, I wouldn't mind if he does this. We know the Haney fight ain't happening right now. That shit's dead because Haney got Brian Norman Jr. in November. But I'm liking the Rolly situation or fight another contender. You know what I'm saying, at that 147-pound division
I
and
got
get
a
you a
name for him.
dub.
I got a name for him, but Oscar
You
is
gonna
gonna turn it down. See, that's the problem.
you gonna
Oscar
say
is going,
who you
huh?
gonna say Blair?
No, Rashidi Ellis. He's not
Mmm.
gonna come back and fight no Rashidi Ellis. So that
That's a good one
again,
too. Rashidi
yeah,
is coming off a knockout in the last like a couple weeks ago.
yeah. Rashidi is Rashidi though. So I don't think Ryan wants. If you want to come back and just get in the fire and not build your confidence back, cool. Then fight Rashidi. Rashidi cooks that boy. Easy
In the
work.
comments they saying Stanionis.
That's a good friend. That's a good fight. That's a good. Stanionis is right there. Rashidi too slick. So yeah, Stanionis is a good fight, but yeah, because I'm giving him a match to lose conventionally. But if you don't want to build yourself up, Stanionis is a good name too that he can probably look good against. But that's a pick 'em fight too, because Stanionis, he still got some pop to him, man. Depending on the style he's fighting, so that would be a good fight. I don't have no problem with Stanionis. But you got to, I mean, and shoot, and throw Blair, just give Blair a bag. Like, can we give Blair a bag coming off a Broner win? Like, dang,
Man, bro,
come on.
that's why I thought the first day you was gonna say Blair. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nah, I
Blair ain't
like,
got no motion right now.
and it shouldn't be like that. That's what's wrong with boxing, bro. That's why I was telling people when what's his name, Jose, I don't know if it's Ramirez. I don't want to mess his name up. Who beat Caleb Plant? Uh, Everybody was like, "Oh, we still want to see Plant and Jamel though." Jamal, that's cool. I do too. I don't disagree with that. But my problem is why we don't reward the guy who got the upset. So he just got to be on the back end. All right, we got to give those guys who win fights and reward them as well. That's my problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him get the Charlo fight. Then Charlo and Plant go back into it. Let Plant get a tune out. So I was like, I don't know, but you got to make it where that guy who won the fight gets a opportunity or a bag, man. Like, forget that.
Thanks. Right here, my boy. Salute to my brother L Dub. Everybody, make sure y'all subscribe to my brother L Dub Boxing and go to his website, ldubboxing.com, man. My brother be cooking up over there for sure. He says, I can see Ryan versus Regis next as a comeback fight.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Golden Boy made Duarte versus Regis. They trying to turn Regis into a journeyman. Absolutely. I can see
Mm-hmm.
that fight too. I can see that too. I know Reese is supposed to be on that August 2nd card in Chicago with Duarte and Kenneth Sims, and they ain't announced his op yet. So I like that fight as well. I like that
Mm-hmm.
fight for sure too.
Yeah, you're right, because they sure did turn. They turned my boy.
Yeah,
Well, they told my boy Tevin. So from me, he turned into a gatekeeper to some people, but I felt he already was.
man,
But Oscar straight matched him again against Floyd Schofield. So great breakdown on that. I love how he made that comparison. So shout out to
for
him.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So you got anything on this, Bean?
Yeah, man. I throw my little 2 cents on that, man. Basically, I look at it like we look at history of boxing sometimes. How I want to explain it. So basically, like, okay, you got the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney going back and forth or whatever. But obviously, Devin already got the plans, most likely, of locking it in with Norman Jr.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same aspect, it's like we want to see that run back, but not all the time in the history of boxing did fights always get ran right back. It might have been a couple fights in between a person fighting that person they lost against. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Lennox Lewis, how he had a couple fights
Mm-hmm.
before he went back in with who was that? Was it McCall? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he
he
lost to
got McCall right
McCall.
back. He got McCall right back. But
Yeah, he got McCall right back. So it was Rockmont. It was one of them
yeah.
guys that he didn't fight right back.
No. Was it? There was no. I think I mixed you up. My bad, man. Slow you down. It was Rockman. It was Rockman. McCall. He got right. Was the one that got a couple fights in, and then they came back to that. It was Rockman. Rockman.
Okay.
He got right back. So yeah, you're right.
So I'm just saying that to say, hey, I feel like it's going to happen. These guys are still young, so the Ryan Garcia and Devin, that brewing or whatever, it's going to happen regardless. But I'm just speaking hypothetically. I'm not saying I don't want to see it after the Norman fight, but what if Devin Haney fought Rolly? And what if Devin Haney cleaned up Rolly? The same guy that pretty much
Right.
what's that? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to approach it. If it'll go that way first and then to him, but yeah, I mean, that's what I like about boxing, man. So many different scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Most definitely, man. Hey, this funny right here. I salute to my brother William Oscar. He said, Dake Father, he talking to Dake Father. He said, there won't be no rematch left after B Norman gets done with Devin.
Woo! I like that, man. I think Devin gonna pull that one off, man. I love this fight for Devin. I love it. I love this fight for Devin.
Yeah, man. And speaking of Devin, man, I got a video clip, man. I got two clips right here of two fighters talking about the Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. fight right here. And I'm gonna start with the first one right here.
Devin and Shakur. They're both track stars. I don't even know what they're doing in boxing.
Do you know much about Brian Norman? He's a KO assassin. He's going to be fighting Devin Haney. What do you make of Devin Haney fighting Brian Norman?
I don't know Brian Norman, but what I do know is Devin Haney's a track star and he's going to have his running shoes on and the fight's going to be boring as hell because any fight he's in is boring as hell.
Do you think Turkey's comments that Tom and Jerry fights cannot happen anymore was directed towards Devin?
Devin and Shakur. They're both track stars. I don't even know what they're doing in boxing. They'd definitely be more successful on the track for sure.
What would your advice to them be?
Who? Shakur?
Yeah, stop running.
They can't help it. They're fannies.
And then I'm gonna show this next one right here, bro, with this other fighter right here.
I hope Brian Norman flatlines him. Brian Norman's a tremendous fighter. He punches hard and all that stuff. I hope they put that fight in a small ring, and they put ankle weights on both of them, so Devin Haney don't run around like a turkey with his head cut off.
Who do you think wins?
Oh, I hope Brian Norman flatlines him.
But who do you think wins? What does the boxing IQ, boxing mind of Rolly Romero think happens in this fight?
This is Brian Norman's pro debut. It's not saying nothing. This is Brian Norman's first test. So this is pro debut. So we'll see how Brian Norman does, and if he's able to pressure Devin or if Devin's going to run around like a turkey, see if, Brian Norman's going to have to work on cutting off the ring a lot because, obvious reasons.
Very last one. Did you hear about Turkey's comments talking about no Tom and Jerry running around the ring? Obviously, he would have been referring to what happened with Devin and other fighters as well. What did you make of those comments?
Look, the Tom and Jerry thing, right? So no Tom and Jerry, but you're going to keep giving these Tom and Jerry fighters opportunities. That's how I feel about it.
Yep.
Right there, man. You got Rolly and Connor Ben right there, man. That man, Rolly just said, hey, if you don't want no Tom and Jerry fights, don't be giving the guys that's having the Tom and Jerry fights opportunities right there. Then you got Connor Ben saying that them boys, Shakur and Devin, they both track stars and Devin is born. And what y'all think about those two clips right there from Rolly and Connor Ben right there?
I feel, man, it's kind of like it's a thin line between what they would consider a Tom and Jerry and a scientific boxer. To me, the Tom and Jerry, a clear indication of what Tom and Jerry was, is Canelo versus Skull. Skull was there just to survive. He wasn't there to even win.
Mm-hmm.
He got his bag or whatever. Shoot, probably went somewhere, turned up later, like, oh, okay, I got a nice little bag to run around the ring, but had no intention of winning. Whereas Devin and them, I think it's a science to what they're doing. Whether you don't, whether a person like them or not, him and Shakur, I think it's a science to what they're doing. And ultimately, they don't really have the kind of power as these other guys, but they're not there to lose. They're not there to lay down. You know what I mean? Whereas Skull was there to lay down. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it.
I'm gonna say this. I think sometimes we take one fight and we define fighters. That's my problem. Uh, I've never seen Devin. I didn't see Devin running when he fought Lomachenko. I didn't see Devin running when he fought Regis Program. I seen him coming off a fight after he got knocked down by Ryan. And shoot, we can talk about the Ryan fight. He was knocked down because he wasn't running. So we take one fight and we define these fighters. That's who they are. Absolutely not. That's one of the reasons why you got to educate a lot of fight fans on what they actually see in the ring, and then styles and attributes make fights. One of the reasons why I'm picking Devin in this fight, because so many people, even Cam, is talking about the power of Norman. The power. Did you see what he did in his last fight? The power. I've been in this game for a long time. I've seen a lot of punchers who get in the ring with lateral movement and can't touch the target. I have seen them. They can't touch the target. Let me give you an example, and I think Cam seen me when I brought this up. Style and attributes. Harrison Landy Laura, lateral movement. Boxing musician. The boy is nice, right? He gets knocked down twice by Angulo, if y'all remember that fight. Angulo could have beat Laura. But when you compare Angulo to Canelo, most people will tell you Canelo is the better fighter than Angulo. But this is why you got to look at the attributes of the fighters. I think Canelo is a better fighter, but I think Angulo's attribute to cut the ring off was better than Canelo's. So when Laura fought Canelo, everybody used what happened in that fight against Angulo that didn't like Canelo. Canelo was like, well, if Laura gets knocked down twice by Angulo, what do you think Canelo's gonna do? They're not even bringing in the style and attributes to the fight. So when he fights Laura, he can't even touch him up top. Why? Because he can't cut the ring off, right? My problem with Brian Norman is I haven't seen that attribute yet. He's gonna have to show me so I can be able to say, okay, I see it. He's able to do it. So he has an attribute that no one really talk about, but yet they predicting knockout. This is why I say I'm gonna win some money that night. I'm going to bet for the Devin Haney fight, because this is one of those fights where you're going to win a lot of money because we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Norman has got all the hype. Everybody praising Norman right now. He is the man coming off the knockout in Tokyo, right? He is the man. Power. He the man. Everywhere he go, they praising him. Devin is the one being considered the runner. Devin is the one people don't like because of his outside antics. He was going to court. He was trying to charge somebody. All these emotional topics that they're bringing up. Those type of fighters steal the show. And it pissed people off because those type of fighters end up coming in and sucking the life out of you. But this is why I like boxing, because I've been on both sides. I was with Deontay Wilder when we was talking about the cheating and the glove gate. I can't wait for Wilder to fight him again. And Tyson just take it from us. Because it's about the style. You can talk about all the little antics going into the fight, but it's when it's time for them to bang and it really comes down to it, it's gonna go down. I think he's going to box, and they're trying to manipulate. A lot of the boxers is trying to make it seem like, well, he's gonna run. So to try to lower him in there so he has to exchange. No, your job is to cut the ring off, just like Manny Pacquiao had to do against Floyd. That's the style you're facing. And I love what Rolly said. Turkey is still paying these guys because maybe he knows that Devin Price, he was a bad performance. That was a whole bad weekend. So I'm not putting Devin in this running type of thing because of a bad weekend and him coming off being knocked down 2 times. That's not me. I'm not doing that because I don't define a fighter about that. You define about your consistency. You are defined by being consistent of what you do. So that's my thing. So that's why I'm excited for him, because this is the perfect fight for him. He needs a fight where people think he's going to get knocked out, so he can pull off a Harrison Landy Laura. So people could be like, well, what Brian he was looking so good in the last. Style make fights. That's all I'm gonna say. Style make fights. Don't tell me about power when everybody coming forward. Did Boots knock out Karen in both
Definitely
fights?
did.
Did he knock him out?
Didn't even knock him down in either fight.
No, he knocked him down. He knocked him down. He
Oh
got him
yeah, he
down.
knocked him down. Yeah, I think it was
He got him
second
down,
fight.
but he didn't knock him out like people were predicting. They didn't know who Karen was. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, man. I love this sport, and I love how we jump sides, but we not really digesting and breaking down what we actually see. Styles and attributes make fights, not just styles. That's my opinion on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I want
Right.
to say one more thing is that like he said a mouthful right there. He said a lot of great points, man. He always come with it, man. But like Paulie Malignaggi, I don't always agree with him, but
Mhm.
even he was saying like when it comes to people that say certain boxers are they move because they're that slick defensive, they're defensive fighters or whatever. They hit and don't get hit or whatever. But my thing is this: you as the pressure fighter, you as a power puncher, it's your you have to have the ability to cut off the ring. That's the lost art.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is moving around the ring or whatever, well, you need to be the one to cut off that ring. Do your
Mm-hmm.
job. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's a lost art that people ain't. It's like these guys are getting too lazy. They don't want to move and cut off the ring.
Yep.
You saw Canelo in there with Skull. He didn't want to. He was just like, man, I'll just do bare minimum, touch him up enough, because I can see that he don't want to get touched up by me. But if I hit him enough just to do what I got to do, I'm gonna get this check.
And here's the thing too, and I don't want to cut you off on that, but because I agree with you 100%. Those styles, when they actually are not engaging as much, that's why I said there's no such thing as the no running. It's always, I'm gonna say it's always been the no running rule, because when you fight like Skull, you don't get rewarded. Look at Guillermo Rigondeaux when he actually beat the Asian guy for the WBA. He won the fight, but it was so ugly they stole it from him. You get what I'm saying? Guillermo Rigondeaux went up in weight to fight Lomachenko, and they said, I'm stripping you if you lose, and you ain't even fighting in that weight class at 122. The no running rule has always been here when it comes to certain styles they just don't like. But one thing they can't say about Devin Haney, Devin take more risks than Shakur. Shakur ain't running. I've seen somebody say in the comments too.
I agree.
He's not a runner either. He pulls back. He just don't get touched. He's not a runner. But Devin take more risks than all those guys that they consider a runner. He sits in that pocket and throw one too. The fight that I seen before that, his last performance, no, I did not. I think his back was on the ropes. He wasn't boxing as. I didn't call that boxing. See, I'm consistent. I didn't think what Devin was doing in his last fight was boxing. I think he did enough to win the fight. He did win. But I'm hearing guys that rock with Devin saying master class and all this other no,
Mm-hmm.
that's not me.
That's the problem I have with him, brother.
No, bro, that's not me. I ain't doing it, but I'm not a
That's
fool
the
either.
problem I have with them
Yeah,
right
master
there.
class.
That's how I look at it, though. I look at it like, all right, as far as like the Devin aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I haven't. The only fight I've seen him, be on this defense heavy and less offense like that was in the fight that we just seen against Jose Ramirez. Now,
Mm-hmm.
every other fight, he stood in there in the pocket. Lomachenko, Regis,
Mm-hmm.
Cambosis, and you want to include the even the Ryan fight. He was sticking in there trying to fight in there. But at the same time, when you got these Haney fans out here, they like, oh man, Devin put on a masterclass versus Jose Ramirez. I'm like, bro, what the fuck fight we watching over here? We ain't watching the same fight because this ain't no fucking masterclass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that when you got guys like Shane Mosley and Tim Bradley and other fighters out here speaking about Devin, whether if he has PTSD. You know what I'm saying? And these guys are saying like PTSD is real in boxing, and some of these guys, that's fighters that I just named. they believe Devin has PTSD from the fight that he had with Ryan. You know what I mean? And I got to take that into to a little consideration in what they saying pertaining to that, in a sense. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I'm a guy. I'm a what have you done for me lately type of guy. So I scale out the last two performances from both guys, from Norman and Devin. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, Norman has looked better in his last two performances. Now, you want to talk about the opposition? Yeah, we can talk about the opposition. You know what I'm saying? The opposition ain't as high for as Norman, but at the same time, the opposition wasn't high in the last fight for Devin as well, fighting the older Jose Ramirez that wasn't that fucking good. Just coming off a loss, losing to Arnold Barbosa,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just saying in general with that, I'm looking at the performances, looking at the recent performances. I'm like, this Devin's an underdog in this. But when I just look at the odds the other day, they had Devin as a slight winner in that shit. So I'm hoping they keep Devin as a winner in this business. I got Norman in this motherfucker right now, just
That's
on the
good. I'm
early prediction
standing
side.
10 toe. I'm standing 12 toes down for Devin, man. I love these type of fights because to me, we sometimes us as boxing fans, man, it's like a lot of us forget other fights, and I'm like, man, do you remember this fight? Do you remember that fight? And they're like, oh yeah, I do remember, but you had to remind me to remember. It's like I got too much fights in my head that are collectively in my head where I see moments like this always come. I remember I was on the Josh Taylor side when Tio was looking horrible, when Tio was just like he was losing confidence, saying he don't know if he got it. So now he fights Josh Taylor. I easily picked Josh Taylor, and he stole the moment. He cooked Josh Taylor. It's just this is what boxing is about, and I love. If I'm a fighter, I want to be in Devin Haney's position because you sometimes you just fight better when you got so many people talking about this guy can punch, this guy getting knockouts, you're not getting knockouts. Look what there's so much negative going for Devin. That's why I like it, because I'm like, dang, if Devin is a villain, then let's be the villain. I'm rocking with it. So I love it. I'm actually gonna put money down. I cannot watch that fight without putting no money down. I cannot. I will not watch that fight without putting no money down. Heck nah. So that's just my thing. I can understand why people are picking Norman. That's why it's a great fight. You want to fight guys who are coming off performances, but it's about the styles too. And I heard somebody say this, and I don't want to keep dragging, man, but I heard
Are
some
you
guys
good?
say in the comment section, "You only as good as your last fight." I hate that term because I hear people say that all the time. That's been something a lot of people we quote after we hear other people say that. But I think you're only good as your matchmaker. I don't think you're only good
Hmm.
as your last fight. You're only good as your matchmaker, because your matchmaker is the one who sets it up for you to look good in the first place, for you to sit there and say you're only good as your last fight. So if I knock out a
Absolutely.
journeyman, I'm only as good as my last fight. When the guy never gave me no pushback, I knocked him out in the first round. Get the heck out of here. Get the heck out of here. See, this is why you gotta challenge all these talking points that you hear other people say that they heard from other people. I had these talkers with
Absolutely.
Jones. I don't care how long you've been in the sport. We gonna chop it down. And where did you hear it from? Well, I heard other people always say it. That's the problem. Some things that we be quoting, we hear people. It's like, nah, bro, challenge some of that stuff. But I think it's you only as good as your matchmaker, because I remember when Manny Pacquiao got knocked out. Did you think he was going to fight another counterpuncher coming back off his knockout loss to Marquez? They put everybody stylistically who moves forward. Bam Bam Rios. They was building him right back up. And he started looking like the Manny of old because of the matchmaking. Not just because you're only as good as your last fight. Y'all better start paying attention to matchmaking and styles that you supposed to win based off the style of the fighter. So I pay attention to all of that. That's just me.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. So shit, we can move forward, man, because we know we're gonna be talking about this fight for a long time leading up to November for sure, man. And this next topic right here, I know Bing gonna like this one right here. Your boy Bing, I'm gonna play this video clip right
Would I
here.
rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge in England. That's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last two times. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do, because I can't really go to the decision. I'm going to have to knock the out, but yeah, that's the one I want. But if I don't get that, then it'd be Joshua, the biggest British fight that will ever happen. And it would break all records, and it would sell out 100,000 at Wembley in an hour. And it's a fight that I think can happen for sure if I decide to come back and the deal's right and all the other shit that goes with it.
Oh boy, oh
Then you
boy.
got the man, your boy right there, Bean man, your boy Fury talking about he want Usyk more than anything, but he'll take AJ if he can't get Usyk. What you think about it, Bean?
It's like overkill, man. Come on, bro. Come on, Fury, man. Fury, if you listening, man, or if you're listening, mate, check this out. Now, I understand running it back, and you had your chance to run it back, and you fell short, and you didn't win the rematch. So, as of right now, go ahead and fight AJ, or maybe even Dubois. You know what I mean? Fight some different people. Stop recycling, trying to go after the same people all the time, chasing the same. Because I think people get at a comfort level with certain style fighters. At first, it was the unknown with Usyk, with Fury. That's why he was kind of apprehensive and always making an excuse for why he didn't want to fight Usyk and making negotiations and lowballing him. But then once he fought him, like, oh, okay, yeah, dude slick, but he didn't, what I mean, I felt like I can go the distance with him. So now you kind of in a mind state of being comfortable. So
Mm.
now you don't want to fight the AJ because he's the unknown to you. The devil you don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, bro,
Mm.
go out here and seek other people. I'm not saying you don't fight Usyk again, but give AJ that and us as fans that fight. Or fight Kabayel. Fight these other guys, man. Come on, man. You fought your sword a third time and nobody wanted that fight. Come on, man. You're doing too much.
Yeah, man. I was just say this as far as we done talked about this a lot, me and you being personally, man. With Usyk, man, I personally I want to see him fight AJ like you for sure. I mean Fury. I don't believe Fury beat Usyk in those two fights. I know the first one was closer than the second one. The second one was clear for Usyk for sure, in my opinion. But
Mm.
no, my man Tax, he said Fury gotta let it go. He can't beat Usyk. That was obvious, and that's exactly where I'm at with it right there, bro.
Mm.
Like I need Fury. Go with AJ. Big fight, Wembley Stadium. Big for the UK. Man, that's the fight right there. And plus, that that's a fight that all of us boxing fans always wanted to see for us, the heavyweight division for us between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. I mean, so that's a fight that they need to, Fury need to push for the AJ fight more than the Usyk fight, in my opinion.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. I listen. I like his mindset, his determination of wanting to still fight, and that's just a fighter, man. He still want if he could fight him 4 times, he gonna fight him to beat him. That's the only guy that defeated him. So I can understand where that comes from, and it's kind of funny because he reminds me of a guy I fought in a street fight, man, years ago. I was in middle school, man, and this guy named Marquise Floyd. I never forget him, man. His cap was named Marquise Floyd. I fought him the first time, and I won. I won clearly, right? Beat him up, got the best of him. People was giving me props. He wanted to fight again, and he didn't wait. It was like a couple days later. He came down by my house in front of my mama, and I'm like, dang, this dude, I won the first one. So he's like, yeah, I won it again. So he had his uncle and we fought again. This time it was closer. I still felt I got it, right? And I think he did too. So he wanted to fight a third time. I never fought that man the third time, bro. I wasn't fighting that guy a third time because he was getting closer and closer. And he was a dog. You hit him, he keep coming. But that's just the mindset that some of these guys got in the competitive nature. Man, you're going to run across a guy that's gonna want to keep going until he gets his get back. Juan Marquez was that guy too against Manny Pacquiao. They would have ran. He had to get that knockout and say, okay, I'm good. I don't want no more. But if he would have lost the fourth one, I bet you they would have set up a fifth one. For Tyson, I just think he needs to go on, man, to retire, walk away. If he can fight the AJ, that's cool too. But man, just walk all that money you got, man. Just go ahead and walk off to the sunset, man. You're not gonna beat Usyk, man.
He don't want to give up the game. He don't want to give up the game, Marcus. And then I like
I
this
like
one
his
here.
mindset though,
I
man.
like this right here with L Dub right here. He says Caviel is having a homecoming fight in Germany in October. Fury defeated Klitschko over there. Maybe he will try again with Caviel. Hmm.
Mm,
What you think about that, Bean? I know Bean got something to say on that one.
mm,
Well, I mean, shoot, why not, man? I think Caballero is that he's like that sleeping giant, man.
mm.
What I mean? He's like that bear that gets woke up because he been doing his thing. Every time he step up, he's shutting down these big guys like Madrimov. I think it was Madrimov or it starts with an M, I think, the big Russian dude or whatever. The
I
dude,
forgot.
I'm talking about the one he stopped with a body shot. And then he came back later and stopped Zilly Zhang with a body shot.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
his body, man, the way he works the body of his opponents is something it's something beautiful, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
because today's it's too many headhunters.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
They're neglecting the body, and Caballero actually goes he commits to the body. That's why I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, we can go ahead and go to the next topic on that one, man. Because with Usyk, we'll see what happens with Usyk. You know what I'm saying? I believe Usyk need to push for AJ instead of Fury. I mean Fury. My bad. The Fury needs to be pushing for AJ instead of Usyk, in my opinion, for sure, man. And we can go to this next topic
Oh,
right here.
one more thing,
You
cuz
guys, go
I
ahead,
want to
bro.
ask you and Marcus, since we talked about that, what about Yusuf versus Dubois in about what 2 or 3 weeks? What do y'all think? Your prediction?
I'm picking with my
I'm taking Usyk.
I'm picking with my heart, man. I like Daniel, man. I'm rooting for him. So I think Usyk. If I'm betting, I'm betting on Usyk. But I'm picking Daniel, man. I think Daniel is coming in this fight, man. He really feel like he can win this fight. It's one thing to think about it. It's another thing to go out there and do it. So we'll see. But I am rooting for Daniel, man. But Usyk is Usyk, bro. That's just let's keep it a buck. He is who he is. So he got a big task.
Facts, man. So we can go and go to this next topic right here. So of course today you got Lamar Roach today. He he dropped his first episode for the upcoming fight for on his YouTube channel today. He said first one was cool. Just wait till I send that hot shit at Buddy again right here. So you got Lamar Roach popping this shit, and then earlier this week, a couple of days ago, salute to my brother L Dub because L Dub definitely told me about this a couple weeks ago, and we ain't speak about it. We just let it pop out, and you got Frank Martin fighting Rancis Bartholomew in talks right now for August 16th on the undercard for Tank Roach 2 right here, and interested right there. What y'all think about Frank Martin's fight on this card against Rancis Bartholomew right here?
It's the same type of fight of a Floyd Schofield versus a Tevin Farmer. In that
Hmm.
sense, you're looking at Rantis. He's not known to be a puncher. He's a name, but he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He's pretty much, in gatekeeper status. This is a great look for Frank to come back and get into. Man, this is a good fight for him. So he's supposed to do what no one really hasn't done to Rantis Bartholomew. It's like brutally knock him out. This is I'm back. Coming off a loss.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is I'm back moment, and then his status shoots up. Oh my God, Frank Martin! Everybody gonna be on Frank Martin. Like it's part of the game, man. So I think this was a great shout out to the matchmakers for putting that together. So it just has to play out the way they want it to play out. That's the only thing. So I think Frank Martin should get him out of there.
Right. What you think about it, Bean?
If I'm being honest, I rock with Frank because I'm an Earl Spence fan,
Mm.
but I don't really know too much about Rancis. I am gonna look him up because he was one guy I had meant to look up over the weekend and I didn't get a chance to. But I'm gonna
Okay.
check out some of his footage and see his style and stuff like that. But just based on what Marcus is saying, he's kind of like the Tevin Farmer maybe. So
Yeah, he
I'm
can
gonna
ball.
check him out, man. But I definitely rock with Frank Martin. So of course I'm gonna wish him success.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. I'm happy to see Frank Martin back, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially he hasn't fought since he fought Tank last year. So I'm just happy to see Frank Martin back active and definitely hopefully hoping to see you get a great performance out of this. And just looking at this card overall so far, of course you got Tank Roach as the main event. Then you got Oshaki Foster versus Stephen Fulton fighting for that 130-pound WBC title. And then you got this fight right here with Frank Martin versus Francis Bartholomew, which they announced that. And right here, just add a little context right here. All right, so little rumblings. I was hearing that Top Rank PDC they've been negotiating this fight right here between Janet Beck versus Carlos Adames for
Mm-hmm.
this August 16th Tank versus Roach rematch card. And look like there's some issues going on a little bit with this fight a little bit right here because you got Janet Beck, he going at Carlos Adames helmet right now. And you got he said, Jennifer says soon fans will see Carlos' true self not too long ago. And then he says, hold on, let me do this right here. He said he calls himself a Bronco, but we know he's just a scared little rabbit. If Broncos could talk, they'll say to him, stop embarrassing us and change your nickname. And
Mm-hmm.
then he made this little post right here. He said, "What's Carlos got to say now? Where the hell did he disappear to? The contract is right in front of him. All he need to do is sign it, and the fight fans have been waiting for is on. But I bet he's hiding in the bathroom." And then he has another tweet right here, man. He's just going crazy at Carlos. Right. He says, "Did you see that? He disappeared normally. He's very active on Twitter. Now he doesn't even respond. I know why. He doesn't know what to say because he has a contract in his hands and he's not signing it."
Mm.
And then right here, Carlos Adames, he makes this post right here on Twitter the other day, right after Janet Beck is making all these tweets at Carlos Adames, tagging his name and everything, and then you got Janet back in the comments on Carlos' tweet said, "Coward, sign the contract." Right here, man.
Mm.
So you got right here PBC top rank there negotiating this fight with Janet Beck versus Carlos Adames, a unification at the 160-pound division right here. And Janet Beck is pressing Carlos Adames right now, currently on this fight. And we ain't hearing much at all from Carlos Adames. What do y'all think about this with Janet Beck and Carlos Adames right here?
Um, I I think well, I think he's adding pressure because PBC on the side, they're not look like they're fast to move that pen. That's what it sounds like because they're hesitant when it comes to cross the street fights. They pick and choose. Do they trust? The question is, do they trust Carlos Adames to beat him? Do they believe they can have a cross cross promotion and or have Jetterbeck come over here and fight for that world title, and then, and they have a chance to win it because that's what it sounds like to me. Is like when you see when you see him going to the media and taunting and taunting, that means something is going on in the back that's not in their favor right now. It doesn't seem like Carlos or PBC is going to take that fight, which they should. I'm like, because it seemed like they probably would want Carlos Adames against another PBC fighter on Tank and Roach. That's what it sounds like to me. And I like this fight. So it's like, man, eventually y'all gonna start working together. Y'all said y'all gonna work together, so start working together. Like, what are we doing? So we got to start pushing that, man. We got to start making these fights and y'all cross promotions and start worrying about, losses. Like,
Right, absolutely.
that's what we got to. So I like the fight, but we just see it seemed like it's more on the PBC side, in my opinion, based off him going into public. Most of the times when
Yeah,
fights is about to be made and the negotiations is going well or it's about to end, the fighters don't say nothing. They don't say nothing, man. They don't really say too much because they know they
facts.
about
What
to
you think
get it.
about this, Bane?
Well, if I'm gonna keep it a buck. As far as Jennebeck, I know of his name. I haven't did a lot of deep research on him. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
see that he's undefeated or whatever, 17 wins, no losses, but I'm not too familiar with some of the people he's fought either. You know what I mean? So
Right,
I
right.
don't want to take anything from them because that's not to say they're not good, formidable opponents. You know what I mean? I just don't. I'm not too privy with a lot of the opponents he has fought. I've seen Carlos Adames fight a few times, so it's kind of hard for me to go base because I want to go do more research on the end of Janibek.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely, man. My take on it, man. Um, I don't think it's more so PVC on it. Me personally, I think it's more so just a Carlos Adonis thing because they bringing it to the table, and I've been hearing that they've been talking about this fight for a few weeks now, several weeks trying to get this fight together, either with Janet Beck or Adamas or Eris Landy Lara. He has the other title at 160. So they've been PVC and Top Rank. They've been negotiating this fight in particular, and I think it's just a thing with Carlos Adamas. I know Carlos Adamas was calling out for Janet back a while back, and Janet back didn't say much back then, but now it's getting a little closer in time, and they trying to lock this fight to try to get this fight going for August 16th, and then you got Janet back pressing them online, and Carlos Adamas not saying much, so it's definitely a little different for sure, man. Hopefully. Carlos just looking at Janet back like, man, motherfucker, I'm about to sign this contract. We're gonna get it cracking, like, you know what I mean? So I hope
Mm-hmm.
that's the case. But I think it's more so just a Carlos Adames thing, me personally, you know what I'm saying? Right now, personally. But I definitely do feel what you said on that too, Mark, as far as PVC on this shit, as far as being strategic with certain, with the fights and stuff, as far as some of their champions. You know what I'm saying? Like Carlos Adames is a champion. They know you lose, Janet Beck has two of the titles at 160. He lose that fight, then you only got one over there on the PBC side. You know what I mean? And then Janet Beck gonna be coming for that last one. But
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a interesting factor for us this fight because I would love for this fight to be on this card for August 16th, man. This could be a banger ass fight right here.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, man. So we can go ahead and go to the next topic right here, man. And we can go ahead and get it a little. So we can get into some of the talk that a lot of people have been talking about recently, man. So let me pull it up. You got this right here, man. You got David Benavidez announced with Anthony Yarde. You know what I mean, and then just to add a little more context to the card, they building this card for November very strongly right here, man. You got David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. You got Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Then you got Ben Rodriguez versus Fernando Martinez. And then you got Cleveland's own, man, Ohio, Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes for that vacant WBO title at the 135-pound division, man. So give me your thoughts as far as this card so far. And right now, let me add a little context too. I'm hearing this is in negotiations too for this card. Raymond Muratalla versus Andy Cruz, IBF mandatory fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though the IDF didn't mandate it, but I heard that they are in negotiations for this fight and they're trying to negotiate it to be on November. So, what do y'all think about the card in general that's already set right here? David Benavidez taking his talents with Turkey on a one-off fighting Anthony Yardy right here.
I like the card. To be honest, I still would put Devin and Brian as the main event. I'm sorry, but I would have Devin and Brian as the main event. But I like the fight. Yard is cool, but it's not Benavidez's fault. Benavidez is doing what he's supposed to do, man. He just take the fights you can get. I want him to be able to just
Right.
reign and whoop everybody you can. I like David, man. So that's my guy. I do rock with him. So that's the fight. It's a familiar name, but I think he gonna win. You know what I mean? So I don't think nothing ain't no 50-50 in my opinion at all. But it's
Yeah.
still, he's there. So it's just for him to look good and do what he got to do. Abdullah, yeah, of course, man. This is a good setup. I actually this I was wanting it to be in the UK because I want Abdullah to win a big fan base over there, but they're going to be tuned in anyway to watch this in
Right.
Saudi. So they're going to Sam is bringing that over there, so that's going to be good. And, it's funny because I was talking to Abdullah's father. He called me 6 this morning, and we was talking, and I love it, man, because they asked me questions. And then one of the questions he asked me, he said, Marcus, he said, who was the last champions in Cleveland? The last few champions we had. And I said, well, you got Mickey Bay, Sean Porter, and then you got a big jump, like 40 something years. I think it's like 50, maybe 50 years. Go all the way back to Sam Max. And he was the only man that stopped Sugar Ray Robinson out of 200 fights. Sugar Ray Robinson, so he was the only one that stopped him from out of Cleveland, and he was a world champion. So it's a big gap there. But, I said those are the three names that comes to my mind when it comes to y'all Cleveland champions. So they already, is looking at the statistics. So, in Cleveland right now about world champions. So those are the conversations we having, man. It's kind of dope. So you can't look past Sam, but I think we all favoring Abdullah going into that fight, man. But I like the card with Bam too. Bam is a good fighter, man. So yeah, he's another guy that I talk about where his weight class, being small weight class. I think what class he fight in? I don't want to mess him up. What weight class is Bam?
He's at 115. 115.
115. That doesn't get televised as much, but Bam is becoming a name where, again, we're gonna have to start paying attention to that weight class and the people in that weight class because of him. He has to carry that torch. It's not easy sometimes. It's really not easy. You see what Clarissa Shields is going through. It's not
Absolutely.
easy. It's not easy. So I'm rooting for him. I'm definitely gonna root for him. But hopefully we start seeing other fighters that we're not familiar with and let them get some shine. Because that's pretty much what it's supposed to be about. Showcasing that weight class because Bam is in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with the card right so far.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Bam, he has a fight coming up July 19th against Kafu. So it's crazy. Of course, Turkey locked this fight in with Fernando Martinez. And I'm hearing that, Bam is on a pace where he's going to fight two more times at 115 and then eventually move up to 118. So that's the plan for Bam. Um, uh, David Benavidez and Anthony Yardy is the main event on this card, by the way. Devin and Bryant is not the main event. Sorry for you, Devin Haney fans. They're not main event. Just to enlighten some of you Haney fans, 'cause I know some of you Haney fans is out there. Y'all was like, "Oh, Devin, Bryant, they main event, and they ain't main event shit." David
Dang,
Benavidez and
bro.
Anthony Yardy is main event. So we had to add context right there to that. Now, I gotta be on my bullshit. I
I
gotta be on
got
my
you. I got
bullshit.
you. I got you.
All right, so I got some clips right here because all this commotion about David Benavidez, a lot of people out there talking about he bended the knee for Turkey and all of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I got some video clips. Hold on, look, just to add context, let's start off with a screenshot right here. So I know we remember this. And salute to sis, Jan Queen Boston. She showed it on her show too, and I had to show it on mine too. Remember when Turkey said this right here to Bivol saying, I am no longer interested in Bivol versus Benavidez, and I will not bid on it. I think Bivol knows who has delivered for him and who hasn't. My advice to Bivol, Don't be late because every day something changes right here. So remember this right here, this tweet from Turkey Al Sheikh right here. Now, pertaining to David Benavidez, no fighting over there with Turkey. One thing about it, I can say David was trying to make the fight with Colin Smith, but Colin Smith ducked. He clearly fucking ducked. And I'm gonna show these video clips of Eddie Hearn talking about it. I got actually three of them, so we're gonna run three of them right here. And this is the first clip earlier when they first start talking about the fight with David Benavidez and Colin Smith from Eddie Hearn right here.
And then they said Virgil wasn't available in August, he's not going to fight till later in the year. So we now say we'll probably fight in August, September, and then we're up for Virgil Ortiz as well. November, December, whatever. For us, I think it would be good to have that kind of interim fight. I like the Bohachik fight, you know, Mendoza, Thurman, like whoever. I spoke to Louis DeCubas from PBC and said, let me know who you've got at 154. I don't think people are going to be jumping out to fight him, if I'm honest. But you know, there's a decent payday there and a big fight.
Looking at 175, Eddie, we've got obviously Beterbiev, Bivol. Right under that, we've got a crop of title contenders, especially out of England. The one that I'm going to ask you about is obviously Callum Smith, rumored to be taking on David Benavidez. What's the status of that fight and what's going on with Callum Smith right now?
So we've had an offer from PBC for Callum Smith to fight Benavidez. We're negotiating with them at the moment. It's a great fight, and we all know that Benavidez is a great fighter. You know, it's not an easy fight at all. Callum was the Ring Magazine world champion at 168 pounds. He'd love another shot at the title. There's no easy championship at 175. You know, you've either got Bivol or Benavidez. So there is a very good chance that Callum will take that fight against Benavidez, and we'll be making our decision over the next 1 or 2 weeks.
So that would be an offer for a fight.
All right, so I got another clip right here, and this is Eddie Hearn at that press conference for Edgar Berlanga, Shiraz, and Shakur and Zepeda right here talking about David Benavidez and Colin Smith.
So when you look at it, I think that I'm doing more and more business with PBC, and my relationship with Louis DeCubas is really helping that. So much so that Callum Smith against Benavidez is a fight that we're openly negotiating now. Coelho, if he wins on this card, fight Dalton Smith. Magasau against Hernandez. So many different fights. So look,
And I got a third one, and this is a recent one right here. This is the other day from Eddie Hearn talking about David Benavidez and Colin Smith right here.
Callum Smith might get that Benavidez fight. What happened to that, and where does that leave Callum Smith?
couldn't agree terms. So obviously Callum's in a great position because he's mandatory to Dimitri Bivol. He's the interim world champion, so he's going to get a shot by that. Benavidez is a great fight. We got made an offer to fight in America. The money wasn't enough. Then we got offered to fight in Saudi. The money wasn't enough, but Yard took the money. Good luck to him. But he's not mandatory an interim world champion. He needs the fight. So yeah, Callum turned that one down, and now we move forward to fight later in the year.
Well, it's obvious. It's obvious.
So you see down the line from this is why I love doing this shit on here. Here. I love to lay out the context for people just to see some of the bullshit right there. We've seen 3 videos from Eddie Hearn, start to finish, talking about this fight. And the last one, he says, oh, well, we couldn't agree to terms. PBC didn't have enough money. And then he says Saudi, meaning Turkey Al Sheikh, didn't have the money to pay Callum Smith to fight David Benavidez. And remember, a lot of people saying that Anthony Yardy, and they feel Yardy and Callum Smith is the same caliber fighter. So add context to that right there. What y'all think about this right here with David Benavidez getting ducked clearly by Callum Smith? This is clear. Like, nobody couldn't change my mind otherwise in this shit right here.
No. Go ahead. You go.
Hey, I'm with you, fam. It's like definitely you just had receipts, you know what I mean? That it makes it you can't even argue that, you know what I mean? You had receipts. But it's like I want to kind of go back to prior to the fact that he's going to fight Yardy. Uh, I kind of like Yardy, man, but to me, he just it just be something off sometimes. Like certain times he look like he on point or whatever, and then other times he'll be lackluster or he just has a mediocre performance. The way I see this
Hmm.
playing out, in my opinion, is that he's going to look tough the first couple rounds. It'll probably be some dogfight in there, but I think after like mid rounds, as he starts to gas out or whatever, then David's going to turn up. Benavidez going to turn up mid rounds throughout the whole fight. I think Yardy's going to gas out and probably get knocked out or stopped. But
Right.
I just hate it for. It's like he's damned if he does, damned if he don't. When it comes to David Benavidez, he gets so much hate, and I try not to use the word hate so loosely because in boxing people say, "Oh, you're always saying somebody hating on somebody." But with David Benavidez, it's like people knock everything he do. So literally, I think after he does his thing with Yardy, it's gonna be like, "Oh, he should have done that to Yardy." But once it lines him up for Bivol or Batervia, if in fact he gets that shot and he wins one of those fights, you got to put respect on his name. They got to put respect on David Benavidez's name.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing, and I'm gonna add something to this too, because the thing about this shit with this, to me, it looked like he getting boxed in. Like David is like Turkey is not trying to give him the opportunity to fight Bivol and Baterbi as trilogy winner. Like that's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, today the other day, they announced that the Billboard Perturbia trilogy is delayed to 2026 right here. You know what I'm saying? Just to add context all in with this with David Benavidez right here. So David Benavidez is fighting Yardy in November. Billboard Perturbia, they fought in February in the rematch this year. And Ramadan is coming up in February, coming up this next year, following up in 2026. Looks like that fight probably gonna be looking for us February, and both guys is trying to fight in Russia so they can have a hometown fight. And look at what Beterbiev said about this right here on the fight though. So Beterbiev, he says, um, of course, a lot of questions about the third fight. I decided to answer here. As you know, the first fight for the absolute champion title took place in October last year. In October, so he said after five years of attempts to unify the belts, it was success. It was still successful. The day after the first fight, we agreed on a rematch, which was to take place within 4 months, despite the fact that I was after the operation and my coach and doctor were categorically against such an early rematch. After the second fight, I immediately showed interest in the early third fight, and at first there were rumors about the fight in August, but my opponent said in an interview that he wanted to hold it in the late autumn, then at the end of the year, and now it is completely unknown when. Diamond, how old do I have to be so that we can fight for the third time? And this is Batervia speaking about the trilogy fight with Bivol right here. And then let's add a little bit more context to it. So, of course, earlier this week, salute to my brother L Dub. My brother L Dub, he reported this shit, and then everybody else reported it after. L Dub did it first. He reported that Michael Eifert was the mandatory challenger for Bevel, and it got ordered. And right here, you got this going on right here. An order fight by the IBF with Dimitri Bivol with Michael Eifert right here. And they on some situation where it don't get negotiated, then Bivol's gonna have to vacate that IBF title, which he'll only have two titles to defend against Beterbiev in that trilogy fight. So what do y'all think about this? All of this with David Benavidez right here, him fighting Colin Smith. Colin Smith is the WBO interim champion. So David Benavidez was trying to fight Colin Smith so he can get that interim title and put himself in more position to fight the winner of the trilogy between Bivol and Beterbiev. But Colin Smith, obviously, like I said, with him, with the video, it was I like me. I love doing this shit. I gotta play the video back so people can really hear what this motherfucker said for real.
Cam Smith might get that benefit this fight. What happened to that, and where does that leave Cam Smith?
Couldn't agree terms. So obviously Callum's in a great position because he's mandatory to Dimitri Bivol. He's the interim world champion, so he's going to get a shot by that. Benavidez is a great fight. We got made an offer to fight in America. The money wasn't enough. Then we got offered to fight in Saudi. The money wasn't enough, but Yard took the money. Good luck to him. But he's not mandatory an interim world champion. He needs the fight. So yeah, Callum turned that one down, and now we move forward to fight later in the year.
What you thinking about it, Morgus?
You said what?
What you thinking about it?
Man, look, you already done said you pretty much when you cooking like that, it's like all I can do is add a little cherry on top, but you done said everything, man. You pretty much done said everything. Eddie Hearn is slick, you know what I mean? He's slick when it comes to that, but when the IBF mandatory getting in the middle of it, to me, I'm glad this is happening sometimes too, because we look at race sometimes. I remember when Terrence Crawford was trying to fight for undisputed against Ndongo. I don't know if y'all guys remember that, and they was trying to interfere that and trying to stop Ndongo from fight. I think they was trying to strip him from one of the belts or something like that. Something was going on. I have to go back and read up on that because I definitely want to stay sharp in those areas. But I remember they was trying to mess up that. So sometimes you if it's about the trip, it ain't always about the belts either. It's just about they want that fight. Sometimes you got to drop the belts and still get that fight if that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is it the pay? Is it the money? How much do you got to give up? You know, to fight a Bivol? It's gonna come down to me. It's like is it a money thing? But if Bivol just gonna take that fight just to get so he can and then come back to that. I don't know what is Arthur going to do. I mean, what is he going to do? Is he going to take another fight? Because he is towards the end of his career, bro. He's right there. It's like, dang, you know.
Yeah, he close. He like 40, close to 40.
Yeah.
I'm like, he up here he said he up here like, man, shit, how old I'm gonna be to get this third fight?
Yeah, so it's a strategy too, man. So it's like, hey, I got it. Now, see, this is the thing you back out of. I got to fulfill my mandatory. What can I do? You know what I'm saying?
Bivol moving weird, man. They moving mad weird, bro. Turkey moving weird with Dimitri Bivol, dog. I don't like, and if people can't read the room and not see this shit, like this is the reason why people don't be fucking with Turkey, because he really be like blocking out certain people with certain fights.
No, but I'm gonna keep it real though, Cam. You're absolutely right. I am not against you on that. I think you're right. But I think he's still building his plane while he's flying it. Turkey is still learning this, so he's starting to adopt a bad behavior. He's starting to see how these other promoters always been moving. Why you think the only thing about Turkey that I respect, different from these other promoters, he's boldly coming out saying certain things that he should not say publicly. He just said everybody else do the same thing. They just don't say he up there talking about no running in boxing. I'm gonna come up with no running boxing room. I can see Bob Aaron and them saying, hey, don't say that out loud. I mean, I'm with you. You know, you see what I did.
Right.
You see what I did to get my ringing down. You know what I'm saying? Don't say that out loud. Just just let the politics play itself. But he's more upfront, but he's still learning. So I think he gonna make a lot of more mistakes in the public eye than behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? He's learning, and it's not always good. I'm not just giving him a compliment because it's not always good. And you can tell when he lied about the Jake Paul and Canelo, just so he can get Canelo another fight. Remember, because he put something in the media, I forgot what it was, and then he came out.
Yeah, he lied. Yeah, that was nasty work too, there, man.
So it was
that was nasty work.
He's becoming one of them that he said he ain't trying to be like. That's the crazy thing. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong on that. So it seem like he's moving with Bivol a certain way, but this mandatory this IBF thing situation is going to be real interesting to see how they move. You know, I definitely is it about the papers? It's the money? Is it the money? Can they pay them off? Or you know, so I'm looking at all that. That's going to be interesting.
Right, right. And even with David Benavidez, like I said, with him fighting Anthony Yarde, from what I've heard, this is a one-off. He's fighting over at one-off. I know Jose Benavidez Sr., he did have an interview early this morning with Mill City, and he was speaking about the fight, saying that, no, David Benavidez, they team, they all intact for Samson Likowitz and Al Heyman and PVC and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
they said this is a tester fight, and they said, hey, they may fight another fight with Turkey. You never know. You know what I mean? So they
Mm-hmm.
just testing the waters with this fight pretty much. And everybody making this whole commotion about David Benavidez bending the knee. Like everybody's putting a lot of hate on David Benavidez because he's attached to PBC. That's all it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is the fighter that everybody should be fucking with right now. Like this guy, he's willing to fight any and everybody. He's doing everything possible to try to unify or become undisputed. Canelo, he was mandatory for Canelo for 3 years. Canelo, WBC never ordered the fight. Canelo ducking David Benavidez, saying he want 200 million and shit just to fight him and shit. And PBC tried to offer him 50 mil, and he didn't want to take the 50 mil. You know what I mean? So it's just nasty work just to see a lot of people throw a lot of hate at David Benavidez when he's the fighter that everybody should be rooting for because he's the one that's taking on all the challenges. He done fought all the guys around Canelo. Like, okay, you don't want to fight me? I'm gonna fight all the guys around you. You know what I'm saying? To get to you. And he did that, and then he said Canelo still didn't want to fight him. He said, oh, fuck it. I'm gonna move up to 175. He going
Yep.
after Beterbiev and Bivol. And you got Bivol moving funny and shit. He then vacated the WBC belt so he wouldn't fight David Benavidez so he can fight the trilogy, which is I'm all cool with them fighting the trilogy. I'm all cool because it's 1-1. So I'm cool with
Mm-hmm.
the trilogy happening. My thing is don't move funny in this trilogy with Beterbiev. You know what I'm saying? Now the time is getting pushed back on that shit, and Beterbiev getting old, so it's like damn near looking like Bivol aging him out for the trilogy and
Yeah,
shit. So it's
and that
just some
could
nasty work.
that could be coming from his team too, because like, Bill will probably go right back. It's his team, man. It's always strategy, and that is nasty work. Yeah, I agree, man. But again, Bill, I love what David Benavidez is doing. I criticized him a couple years back because I didn't like that he was sitting in the position with Demetrius Andretti and Jamal Charlo, where they all waiting for Canelo and nobody is trying to
Yeah.
fight. I criticized him. I said, y'all gotta start making your own name first instead of just waiting for this Canelo ticket. And I was consistent on that. So I'm glad that he's actually fought the Demetrius Andretti and started to make his own name, man. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. I ain't criticizing him. So it's only so much you can do. I respect David.
Yeah, me too, man. They just throw a lot of shade at David Benavidez. Throw a lot
Facts,
of
man.
shade. It don't make no sense.
Okay then, man. So let's go ahead and get into the main topic at hand tonight, man. And we gonna deep fry this fucking topic for real. Like and my man Marcus, man, he put out some crazy content on this shit with Abdullah Mason and Kid Austin right here, man. And just to add context to start off on this whole topic right here, we gotta show the footage. Here we go. Roll the clip.
No, you can't fight another salad. Perfect. Use that jab. Abdullah, make him switch back, Abdullah. Abdullah, make him switch back. Nice.
Good. Nice.
Stop hands to your face. Stop.
Yup, leave it out there like that. Yup.
Work. Hand movement and walk in. Work.
To the stomach, to the stomach.
Ali. You see him?
There you go.
Work. Yeah, put your straight ones together.
Keep it out there.
Switch it up by your body. Right, switch it up by your
Nice
body.
recovery, bro.
Keep that stick out there,
Go ahead,
champ.
but don't get in.
There you go. There you go.
Right, don't get him. Don't wait for him to set up. Go. He just swinging back. back on that back leg. Right.
Beautiful. That's what they do.
Right. Yeah. Right. When he throws
Thank you. Ooh.
Work. Good. When he throws, you put your combinations together. Head movement. Good. Good. Take away that jab like you do. You got it. Keep fresh. You're tired. Go get it. Don't overreach it. Don't overreach it. Wait till the chest out.
Come on with your hands up, man. When y'all break. Y'all do clean breaks. Come on with your hands up.
That ain't no move.
Come on.
You got that on the inside. Switch forward.
Beautiful.
Every time you go to the angle, switch forward.
Hook off the jab, straight
Use
left.
that jab. You're doing good. Breathe.
Hook off that jab. Beautiful. Hook off of it. There you go.
That's that running shit I'm saying. That running in. Abdullah.
Hands up. You got to breathe. Body work.
Good. Get low. Get low.
You got it, Ali.
Use that jab.
Keep it out here, champ.
30 seconds.
Let me get some of that body now. There you go. See? Got it. Good body shot. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, he did it.
Beautiful.
Go to his body. Go to his body. Stay low.
Beautiful.
Hands up.
Oh, nice. All right, stay calm. Stay calm. Relax.
Stay under there.
10 seconds.
Bad combination. Don't wait for another second. Use that power. You got to
Nice. Time.
Right there, man. There go the first video that we got for us, the topic right here. That was the infamous sparring footage right there that the man, Auntie Schofield, been speaking about for so long, talking about, oh, we beat Abdullah in sparring. He couldn't fuck with us in sparring. You know what I'm saying? We beat Abdullah. Abdullah can't fuck with my son.
Sounds like
Bro, so the footage dropped, and this is Floyd Schofield's response on Twitter right here. This Auntie Schofield, he says, "We are focused on our great win, our title shot soon, not sparring from years ago. They are trying to market off our great win. No way. Let them fight someone. We proved ourselves already."
Oh man.
What y'all think about this tweet right here?
They're gonna always keep moving that needle, man. He's trying to make it like, see, that's the thing. They're responding off something they started. Like, no one ain't putting your dad is the one instigated that, kid. So I don't know why he's trying to make it like we trying to, market off that. Your dad keeps saying drop the sparring. I'm like, oh Lord. Like,
we proved ourselves already, Marcus.
No, yeah, that's your dad. Keep on talking, man. So that's why it's so crazy, man. I think he tried to back, and then he also had another comment where he said it was just one round. Where's the other rounds we sparred? Y'all only sparred one round, so they just keep lying and lying. Like, dude, so you took the gloves off after the round, and your dad came up there, ran up to the corner, and grabbed your gloves and start untying them. What are we talking about?
Oh, we got more. We got more real quick. Hold on. Here go Abdullah talking about it right here with Najee for
They
cigar
was making
talk.
it seem like he was putting that belt the ass on you when sparring. That's what they made it seem like.
No, like
No, you gotta go back to what he actually said. He said sparring wars.
Sparring wars, man.
So he said wars? Did he say sparring wars?
Yeah, nah. It wasn't none of that.
No war?
No war.
One-sided wars?
I wouldn't say that. But we only shared the ring one time for one round.
Oh, so that ain't even.
And I was ready to continue. I don't know why they stepped out after the first round. I was ready to go more, but that's that. That's the conclusion.
Was that at his training camp?
No. We was out in Vegas. I think they was out in Vegas for a minute, and they just came to get some work.
Yeah.
So we were just there, you know, ready for the work. And
hold on, they just did one round, like they didn't.
Yeah. Well, it was like a spawn, like the round robin. You know, other different fighters coming in, so we were supposed to do at least 4 rounds. Like, you know, each fighter get their rounds in. But I got in there, you know, I was just sparring, getting my work, and they stepped out after 1 round.
Yep.
Right there, more evidence right there, man. More evidence, dog. Right here, man. And the crazy part, we ain't even done. We ain't even done. We got more. That's the crazy part. We ain't even done. We're not even done, man. We gonna deep fry this shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And salute to a brother right here, Marcus from Ohio, runs boxing with this one.
Destroyed.
We keep how Mason is a good fighter, but Mason will get destroyed by Kid.
Destroyed.
We keep telling I mean, just look at the facts. Look at when he got hit by that other guy. Kid hit way harder than that guy. Way more accurate, way more agile. Mason wouldn't stand a chance. They shared the ring together already. And I had to ask Floyd before you hit 2 off him, work defense. It's facts. I've been saying that. We already beat Mason in the amateurs, and then they even have it on film, us them 2 sparring. So it's nothing, and that ain't taking away nothing from Mason. It's just Mason is a great fighter, but he's running into the greatest boxer of all time. So it is what it is. That don't take away from none of their accomplishments. Just no boxing history didn't go to school, was just programmed the 5 styles of boxing. Since
Hey man, but did y'all see right there on the screen when he talked about? Oh yeah, we already beat Abdullah in the amateurs.
Nah, I said Mason. I didn't say Abdullah. Now let's keep it real, because I know I didn't beat him. Now I did get his older brother though, but you know I'm gonna spin it around and make it show that it looked like it was Abdullah, because Abdullah the one that's running things right now out of the Mason whole clique. Now we respect the Masons because they good fighters, but you know my son didn't want to go back out for that second round. I know we gonna say that we whooped him over up in there, but that wasn't Mason again. That was his older brother. So you know, we just gonna keep it 100 with you guys, because we know the 23. Hey, let me scratch that. That was the 5 styles of boxing. Everybody knows that it's Schofield that runs boxing. Ohio don't run boxing.
Yeah, you know that's gonna come. I think they're gonna also say that they look alike. So of course you'll get it mixed up. That's gonna be his rebuttal to. Oh well, of course you'll mix it up. They look just alike. They're brothers. No, you know who you fight, man. Stop. And not all the amateur fights are on BoxRec, but that fight is on BoxRec. You can't mix it up.
Hey, well, see, what we got to realize is that, you know, I got a real great track record for telling the truth around this motherfucker. Because, you know, I'm a pack from way back. You know,
Right.
we go all the way back. So, you know, when you got people over there putting work on us in the car, we got connections getting us off. You know, we got real good tow truck drivers that know how to analyze when, you know, the work not mine. On top of that, you know what I'm saying? When we get ourselves massaged, you know, we know when they putting that cream on us that ain't right. So we got up in there, and then on top of that, they messing with they trafficking people. You know what I'm saying? They kidnapping folks. They messing with our passports. You know what I'm saying? They poisoning us, got us up in the hospital.
Man, all y'all sound like that, James. Everybody got this dude down pat.
Hey, shout out my good brother Ring Walk. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make that ring talk the right way. You come over to Ring Walk Boxing. Shout out to the network. CamJ by trade. Shout out to Ohio Runs Boxing. You know what I'm saying? I just came up here to just represent for my homie. You know what I'm saying? We got the 23 the 5 styles of boxing.
You know what's so crazy? Listening to the sparring session, I was listening to, you know, both coaches too, and it was like everything Abdullah, his dad, was telling him to do, he landed and claimed.
He was doing it. Yeah, he was listening to this dad,
body, and then you got Schofield's father talking about use power. That and a lot of the stuff he was saying just wasn't work switch. And then whatever he did in that first round, and don't get me wrong, this was just the first round, man. So it was just like it was a sellout, but Abdullah already knew he had the best of them. And that's why I told people before this even got leaked out, I was telling people about how much sparring I got on different fighters, man, that I have in my archive. Just I keep. And out of the respect of other fighters, I don't really post those, man. If I do, it's a clip or so, but I get the approval of the fighters and they dads. If I do release it, I never release without letting them know that. So everything in the scene.
We got more. We got more. We got more. I'm telling you, we gonna deep fry this shit. And salute the Marcus Ohio Run Boxing again.
There we go. There we go. There we go. He hurt. He hurt. Get off his guard, bro. He hurt, boy. He hurt. He hurt. Good job. Good shot, son. With the right, okay, then, slow.
Yeah, right there. Take that step back and counter. They have to step and counter. Short shot. Ooh, shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right to the. Tighten them punches up. Touch and rip.
I told you we got more, man. Salute to Messiah Snow from the city, man, from Cincinnati, Ohio. You heard?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's my guy, and he a dog too, bro. He a dog.
Absolutely. He was beating the shit out of Kid Austin in that clip, man.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to Michael Gamble out of Cincinnati too. That's another one. Michael Gamble who beat him. But so yeah, I was doing my runarounds, man, and letting them know, saying because I had the stuff. I said, man, I'm gonna release. Let me release.
Oh, yeah. We got the screenshot. We got the screenshots, you feel me? We got it, you feel me? We pulling out all the receipts tonight.
Yep. That's my dog, man. So yeah, when it comes to our best fighters from our state, man, I don't think he stands a chance, man. And and it's not even just the sparring. I think I blame his father. I look at sparring to sparring, but when you start saying release the sparring and trying to use sparring for the reason why you won't fight Abdullah, then it's like, oh man, now you forcing us to release, because the Masons don't release sparring, bro. They don't do it. They got over probably about 300 sessions of sparring, maybe 4. So I got a lot of it too, a lot of footage, but they don't release it, man. And they didn't cook a lot of people. And one of the sound bites that I was going to actually post the next couple of days is with Bob Arum. Is the reason why he signed Abdullah. He's going to tell you why he signed him is because of what he was doing in the sparring sessions against pros when he was an amateur.
Absolutely.
So that's how he got signed. It was about what he was doing. He came to Vegas. Him and his family, they came to Vegas because they wasn't getting looked at. He's winning national championships, but you got to go get seen. And Jay Prince and Shakur and them start to see who he was. And once he started sparring with other guys and looking good, it was like, whoa, he even sparred Devin. So, great work, Devin, to tell you. So he started to separate stuff, and that's all. Yeah, this kid is different. So that's how he got it. But yeah, man, back to Floyd and his dad, man. Don't put all. I like Floyd Schofield, man, but his dad is trying to turn him into a villain, man. You gotta be careful who you put your mouth on, especially them Ohio guys, man.
Absolutely. What you think about it, Bean?
Wow, man, it's a good backstory that Marcus just dropped, man, about how Aram, and people had eyes on him. That's a good backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to know how everything kind of ties in and comes to the forefront. It's just like a situation what we just talked about before with Yardy and And Benavidez, people keep saying, well, how did Yardy get in this position? So it was good to know the fact that he had the Eddie Hearn interviews to show pretty much that, hey, he didn't say it in that way, but you can read between the lines that Eddie Hearn and them, they ain't want that smoke, you know what I mean, for Colin Smith. So now it makes sense how Yardy's in the position he's in. So yeah, man, some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
you think about a T Hill?
Well, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I know this is an Ohio broadcast right now. I know everybody up here from Ohio, but I'm gonna say one thing about that. If Turkey truly about making the fights and spending the money so that they can make the fights, why my man didn't get the money the number he was looking for? Also, if he did duck the fight and didn't want any number to fight him, which is understandable because he's a problem, then why not make the fight with Devil and Benavidez, since you trying to postpone my man Better Biev until he retired, officially put it down. So you got the money to make that fight. So, Turkey got some explaining to do. Eddie got some explaining to do. Your boy Callum Smith got some explaining to do. And Yard, he better bring his gas tank with him. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, I know one
Right.
thing. When it came to Schofield and then when they got offered 1.5 behind the scenes, because that's what you do when you're really trying to make a fight. You don't go to the public and say, "Hey, we just sent you an offer."
Oh shit! I forgot about that. We got that too. Oh
Hope you're
shit!
having a good day.
We said,
I figured I'd
they
address
actually did
the
send them an offer and
comments
talked about it,
and the
and they
news
said they
that's
was
out
not
there, the
ready.
bull
They didn't
crap
say we wanted
about
more money. They
Kid
said
and
they
Mason fight.
they got other options
Right.
right now. They looking into, and this is the phone conversation. When they hung up, 'cause the next day his dad wanted to create a narrative and start talking about, yeah, we'll fight Abdullah for 2.5 million and all that, and then start talking about Turkey when it wasn't even Turkey the one was even involved in it. Was Top Rank that was trying to get the fight first. They knew Abdullah wasn't worth that right now. But worth that 2.5 or the money he was asking. Yes, you can try to throw Turkey in it, but Turkey lets you negotiate your own fights too. There's plenty of times if you want to get that fight done, cool, but don't throw him in it. If you wanted to fight, you get the fight. But that to me, that was a sign that they just didn't want the fight. They actually want to wait, hopefully get a belts, and then come back around. That's cool too. But just say that. Don't create narratives and make it like you want to fight when you really don't.
Absolutely. Here go Auntie Schofield right here talking about the money and
Hope you're
shit.
having a good day. I figured I'd address the comments and the news that's out there, the bull crap about Kid and Mason fight. All right. Number one, yes, we want to fight Mason, and yes, we will fight Mason, according to Golden Boy and them. But Golden Boy had bigger plans. So yes, Mason offered us $1 million, or their team over there offered $1 million for us to fight. But Golden Boy offered us a 5-year deal for $5 million. Guaranteed 5 years employment, guaranteed we'll be fighting for its title soon. What would you pick? Alright, so we got the Greg Hackett's and all them saying all that nonsense they don't know about. Oh, he ducked 2.5. Nah, because I have $5 million on the table. A deal for $5 million on the table. And the team that's offering is saying nah. So I had a choice. Are we going this side for $1 million, or we going this side for $5 million? And $5 million, that's just the minimum. That ain't even everything. That's just the minimum. So y'all can believe whatever y'all want. I thank you to the fans that's been following us. We appreciate y'all. And I really don't like putting money business out there, but I figured I'd clear the rumors. Nobody's scared of no Mason. We look forward fighting Mason. We shared the ring with them. Anyway, our next opponent in June is a good one.
Bruh, how can you not laugh at that, man? Like he
Line
was,
at 4K. Our next opponent is in June.
bruh, he was so serious with that 5 million, 5 million. Was it 5 year, $1 million deal? Was it like 1 million a year? Really? Okay, and
He
that's
said,
that. That
and
was.
that's the minimum.
Yeah, that's funny. And that's what, but you know what? That happens when you start talking way too much. It happens when you start talking way too much. And I'm gonna be on the record and say this. he doesn't really rub me the wrong way. I think he's entertaining. I'm gonna be honest. This is just me being honest. I think he's entertaining. We need some type of entertainment like that. I just think he crosses the line when it's just obsessive lying. He just keep lying after lying to the point where, like I said, I talked to Abdullah's father. He hit me up 6 a.m. Okay, he hit me up on the phone 6 a.m, and we didn't get off till about 7:30. Okay, talking about all the lies and certain things this man has said, and he keeps his composure. That's why he was like he appreciate what I do and bring that out to the light. You know what I mean? When we got different when we got guys like this trolling and saying different things, I can go to battle for my Ohioans, man. But I also show love and respect to other people too. I don't have no real shade against Schofield or his dad. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I showed them that I can drop nuclear warheads if I want to. That's all that was.
Bro. This man, bro, facts plus tax on it, dude. Auntie Schofield is a habitual fucking liar out here,
Mhm.
bro. Habitual fucking liar. He talk about he been the main person out here in all of these podcasts, all these different platforms out here screaming, "Oh, we did this to this guy in sparring. We did that to this guy in sparring." You talk
Mhm.
about sparring, and then when the fucking sparring footage get put up of the shit that they spoke about, they the one
Yeah.
who spoke this sparring session up
Yeah.
about Kid Austin and Abdullah Mason. And they like, oh, we did Abdullah Mason dirty in the sparring session and stuff. And then when we dropped the footage, nigga, the footage didn't go how you said it went, Auntie Schofield. It's nasty work, man. You getting caught in lies in 3D. Then you lied and said that you fought the man in the amateurs, and you didn't even fight Abdullah in the amateurs. You fought his older brother.
Yeah, he fought the.
Like, come on, make this make sense, man. This is nasty work in all phases right
But
here,
you know what?
dog.
You can't. And here's the thing: I got even more footage that I'm gonna drop, but it's just gonna show the fight of him and the brother. So he won't spin the narrative that he dominated him. So you know, I'm
He won
already.
by split decision.
Yeah, so I'm going to drop that too, but I'm gonna leave it at that because one thing you can't do with a person that lie all the time, you can't keep trying to keep up with his lies because you're gonna be doing it all day. So I'm going to just drop those receipts, and I kept it pushing, man. Like I said, I every time Floyd in his amateurs, bro, he wasn't a guy where we looked at Floyd Schofield and said, "Oh man, he in this bracket, we got to move up." Floyd was losing damn near in a lot of tournaments in the first round. You can see, I mean, he got better as a pro for not holding that against him, but he was never this stuff that his dad is trying to put him out there to be. You know what I mean? And that's just
Right.
being honest. He never was, bro. I told y'all going into the Tevin fight, I liked his style against Tevin. Now, some people was picking Tevin. I didn't think Tevin had a chance based on the style. I didn't. I thought this was his Sean Porter versus Paul Molly. And I think I said this on your platform when we were
Yeah.
predicting the fights. This was his moment to beat somebody that thought they was gonna give him a shot or experience because of his experience. Thought he was gonna, give him some trouble. But I looked at the strength, the power, and him in the gatekeeper status. That was me, and that's why I picked him. So it was a good looking win for him. But I know why Golden Boy picked Tevin. Tevin went through Cepeda twice, and then they're gonna give it to him, and they're gonna give it to him another one of their fighters, and then that's the one that's gonna capitalize. So that's all it was, man. I wish him the best. I do want him to win a belt, and hopefully, you try to unify with Abdullah. But here's the thing, and no one talks about this too. That was just one round, right? But some fights don't get made because of sparring sessions. No one wants to.
Right.
Nobody wants to talk about that. Some fights don't get made because of sparring sessions.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Being what you got, bro.
I mean, shit, man. He said some stuff, man. Sometimes those sparring wars get out there to where people like, oh man, they don't want that smoke based on that. You know what I'm saying? What's his name was a sparring king. What was his name? Martin Bacoli.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
his name was always in heavy rotation. So now he
Right.
became the boogeyman, the boogeyman
Yep.
that had an image based on sparring wars.
Yep, absolutely. No, you Earl Spence. Earl Spence was a good fighter outside, but how did he get his buzz? Where did he start? Where did his buzz start? Sparring with Mayweather. sparring with
Absolutely.
Broner. He had Broner
Yeah,
crying.
with Broner. Yeah.
He had Broner crying.
What? Kevin Johnson.
Yeah.
Somebody was just talking about it the other day. I was like, man, I forgot about Kevin Johnson, man. He was talking about beating up all three of them, Shakur, Tank, and David and shit. He was
Where
a
is he
sparring
at?
king out this
Where is
bitch.
Kevin at? Where
And
is he
he
at,
and
man?
then he getting in professional fights. He getting his ass whooped and shit.
He was on the Boxing Boys cooking. He was
He
cooking
doing
it.
hella interviews and everything, bruh.
It's a lot of them like that, man. That's part of the game. But I get the hustle. But I tell people this all the time too. We all gonna be in situations like that. That's in the behind the boxing scene. It's gonna come a time where we looking at it from the outside in. Oh, that's good, man. That's entertaining. He funny. He lying. It's different when it's a person you really mess with. It's different when it's a person you really connected with. You go sit down, you eat, you enjoy, y'all kick it, and you see somebody lying on them. And I'm gonna say this: Masons ain't happy with some of the platforms out there.
Right.
They calling them, and we calling them Jerry Springer platforms, Jerry Springer boxing channels that's out there where they let a guy rant on, and they give him no pushback because they don't want to ruin the relationship when they should be just being journalism.
Talk about it. There's a
And
lot of people I know that's doing that currently on these YouTube streets.
uh-huh.
They're dick eating to get these interviews and shit.
Absolutely.
And it ain't CamJNetwork. I'm gonna say that right now.
I'm telling you right now, they are pointing that out, and they're not happy. They turned down some big channels, some nice channels, because they seen the circus that's going on with Schofield father coming onto those platforms and not getting no pushback. So yeah, they definitely talked about that too. It's like nah, nope.
Yeah, man. T Hill, what you got, bro?
Well, you know, I'm just the outsider that get outside you, and you know, from what I see, sparring, like you said, man, it can stop people from getting in the ring. Also, it can make people like boxing legends in the street, so to speak. But what we do know is you don't win no battles in sparring other than just working out and getting better at your craft. So, with that being the case, man, you know, I want to see the fights. So hopefully, you know, my man saying he done whooped the ass all this time. He the sparring king, he the amateur king. Just get up in that ring and show Abdullah one more time that you his superior, and make that fight. You know, I'll say this too. I'm sorry about that win. Let me get a little bit further back from that win, but let me say this. And I'm gonna hold this just in this fight, but across the spectrum too. If you never made $1 million in a fight, not even close to it, and your opponent has never made $1 million in a fight, how are you demanding over $1 million for the fight to be made? Unless you're looking for severance pay.
Yep.
We've had numerous cases for that, but like certain people get excused for that, and others do not. It was just a little bump, a little umph, and it was acceptable for one. But when somebody else asked for one, it was unacceptable. So like when Frank Martin asked for a little umph, you know, he was ducking and it wasn't acceptable. But when Brian Norman Sr. Jr. wanted a little umph, and he ain't never made over 90,000 in the fight, he was getting offered 1.7. It was deserved because he's worth that. So, you know, I don't know what's going on with folks, and I don't know how much they deserve or worth, but I do know that ring shows you your true worth.
Yeah, I think it's all. I agree. I think it's all in context too. I see what you're saying. Fans was gonna pick and choose, but I look at it as in context because with Frank Martin, I think I said this before. Frank Martin's situation was more about. I felt like he took the better offer. I personally felt Al Heyman pulled him from that because they were starting a new platform with Prime, and they wanted to have a good fight, so they will have an in-house fight. Why not? So if you're going to take a shot from Shakur, a title shot, walk away from a title shot with Shakur, that next offer better be good, better than that. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think he blindly left and then say, it was the money. No, it wasn't. It wasn't that he could. The bigger fight was always Tank. If you got Tank and Shakur and they both was the same amount of money, who's picking Tank or who's gonna pick Shakur over Tank? Nobody.
Right.
If so, my thing is I would have took the Tank too. But here's the thing where we have to pay attention to. They start damaging control. Now he's starting to say, well, yeah, it was the money, this and this, and I wanted a little bit more. No, you already got another fight. Why you ain't telling people you got another fight? You already got something on the deck. It ain't got nothing to do with the money. Don't nobody just walk away unless they got something on this, something on the safe side. Unless they got an easier fight. Yeah, less money, but it's more an easier fight just to get a bag. So that's how I look at some of those things. It's all about context, but I do understand what you were saying, Hills, because it does seem like they pick and choose, when it's okay to duck a fight because of money and they ain't never made it. If you never made it. But most of these most of these fighters only want to damn near take fights that they comfortable in, that they know they can win. That's the same thing with the mandatory. If a mandatory is a Jamal Charlo, we got to create a franchise. But if it's a Ocampos or a motherfucking Cambosis or Mean Machine, we're gonna take it. That's just how it is. We ain't got to move around those type of mandatories. So that's the problem with some of them, man. So I think Schofield and his dad, I hope they come back around and fight that. You know what I mean? Because one of the reasons why we got more upsets in boxing today is because they're not fighting each other. They're trying to cherry pick and take on. Say, there's no reason why Teofimo fights Cambosis when he could have fight Devin. Like, just give him step aside.
Right.
Give him step aside. Go right into the fight with Devin. Come on, bro. You making this guy a name for what?
Thanks. Ben, you had something, Ben?
Oh man, I ain't got nothing else to say on that part of it. But hey man, I really enjoy this show, man. It's some
Yeah, I'm
beautiful,
about to say.
beautiful chemistry, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, facts. I got another topic too, man, because since the fight is next week with Shakur Stevenson, Williams Zepeda, Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz. Of course, people ain't talking much about it, but of course, CamJNetwork talk about it. So Brunch Boxing, salute to my guys, Brunch Boxing over there, man. They do great work on the content. They said news. Movement for tickets next week for Ring Magazine's three-event Flushing. Headlined by two main events, Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz and Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda is non-existent. Capacity for the Louis Armstrong Stadium has been reconfigured, with a quarter of the stadium being blacked out. Less than 30% of the tickets for the new configurations have been sold. Event organizers have tasked Ring employees to promote ticket links on their social media posts. Prices have been slashed on the primary market tremendously. Ticket brokers on the secondary market are offering buy one, get one free tickets, dog.
Damn.
What y'all thinking about this fight next Saturday, man? It's looking bad on the sales.
It better get started. Sometimes they look like that, and then they start heating up towards the end of the week. Starting the end of the
Yeah.
week and start creating some buzz, and some last minute the ticket buyers start coming in. I hope it might be a decent crowd, but I don't think it's gonna do the numbers that they was projecting. You know what I mean? And another thing too, like I said, I want to know: do they have a budget? Like, do they have a budget of what they're willing to spend and what they're trying to gain back? Because this is a Turkey's card, right?
Yep,
You
yep.
know what I'm saying?
Golden Boy is they're the promoters for the card, but this is a Turkey LSG card.
Okay, so it's like, do they have it? Should they care? About the revenue if they're just unless he got this unlimited funds that the people were talking about, or is it starting to get tight where he can't just afford to be losing a lot of money? We need to start getting people into here in these events, because correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I don't want to seem like I'm no. It was coming off like Turkey got just unlimited funds, so it doesn't
Bro,
matter.
man.
Yeah, I
But
mean that
it's
is
like he don't care about losing money. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
no.
to get. Was it just me feeling
That
like
was the
that perception?
perception. That was the perception of it. Yeah.
I
That's
think
my
it.
perception of it. It seems like he
Mhm.
don't care about losing money, but at the same time, like with certain negotiations with certain fighters, he like he tried to get Shakur less money at first after the Padley fight for this fight was the payday, and then Shakur said what he said in public. Then Shakur came out and apologized, and now the fight with him as the payday is on. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
Shakur's a Ring magazine. He's a Riyadh season ambassador and shit now.
What
So
does that actually
it,
mean, though? Did they even break that down? Because I didn't even.
Man,
What is what?
man, from what I'm hearing, it ain't nothing but from what Keyshawn Davis said in one of his interviews, it ain't nothing but a sponsorship for us, getting the patch on your trunks and him trying to match make you some fights, pretty much.
And being nosy about your contract with bigger other promotional companies. That's all it is, to keep tabs on what y'all got going on in those. When y'all can come out of those negotiations and those contracts, so we can sign you for TKO.
For real, yeah.
That's what I think.
Absolutely, that's what he's trying to do, bro. Because look at it, he talking to these fighters. Because Keyshawn, he was the one that said that when he met with Turkey for the first time, Turkey called Teofimo up, and like Turkey's calling motherfuckers up. That's what they said. He's calling people up. He got these fighters' numbers, and he's calling them. He like, yo, you want to fight such and such? Like he's on some direct shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time this is the contradictory in this shit with Turkey right here. At the same time with Richardson Hitchens, he Richardson Hitchens looking to work with Turkey. He tells Africa, you got to go through Eddie Hearn. Basically saying that with Richardson Hitchens being a free agent, he only going to work with Africa unless it's with Eddie Hearn. So
Mm.
you can call these other fighters direct and make fights, but you don't want to deal with Africa, what I'm saying, directly. You want him to go through another motherfucker to get to you. So like that's the contradictory shit with Turkey in that aspect right
But
there.
you know that is. But you know what? I think that's something we got to start paying attention to as well, because it's like they're creating a moment where they'll freeze you out. You gotta do business with this guy in order to do business with me, so you just won't break off management with some of these other fighters, man. I'm starting to see that's going to be a trend where you can't just do what you want. You're going to have to be with somebody in order to get in to play ball eventually. That's what it sounds like.
Facts. My boy John Sanders says that's just a knock ring and locking hands with Turkey walking through the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's funny.
Bro, it is crazy. Ticket brokers on the secondary market, they saying they offering buy one, get one free tickets, though. That is
Damn.
some nasty work right there,
And
bro.
is that in Saudi? Where's the fight gonna be at?
It's in New York at Louis Armstrong Stadium, the tennis spot.
And that's next week.
Next Saturday.
Dang, because the flight, man, my flight last time to New York was like $100, bro. So, and I already got people that I know stay up there. I might take a little side piece up there, man, and impress them. I'm over here. I'm sorry,
Hey,
y'all.
I seen my dog Ed McQueen. He was saying he seen tickets for $66. He was thinking about shooting up
I'm just
there.
saying, man, I might make that run for the bedroom in New York. You know what I'm saying? We might make some moves.
Yeah, and then they got this right here, Brunch Boxing. I love these guys, man. They exposing shit. So Matt from Brunch Boxing, he said, I hope the Ring magazine reports on their own event the way they reported on Jake Paul's event last week. I was like, ooh, right there. Brunch Boxing, man, I fuck with them, man. Them boys, they be doing good work over there, man. They exposing the fact that Ring magazine ain't talking about the fight with these ticket sales, but they was talking about Jake Paul and Chavez Jr. last week.
That crowd was pretty good. They got a last minute wave. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, I just look, if them tickets is low, yeah, and
If them
which it
tickets is
sound like
low, you good to go.
You good to go, man. I'm talking about buy one. What is it gonna be? What's the buy one? 150, and then the other one free. I mean, what we talking?
I'm about to look. I'm about to look it up
You
real
know what I'm
quick,
saying? You
man.
gonna have me looking it up. What we talking about? Let's get this party
Like
started.
it's crazy though, because like you got like this card is a good card. Like this is a good card next Saturday. You got Berlanga, Shiraz, Shakur, Zepeda. Then you got David Morrell fighting Katyav. Katyav, he got his passport approved for him to come for this fight to fight David Morrell. And then you got what's the other fight on there? Damn, what's the other fight that they got on there? Damn, I done went blank. Um, Shit, what was that fourth fight on there? I'm thinking I went blank.
Mm.
Hold on, I'm about to
Yo,
see.
yo, can I say this one thing?
Go ahead, go
Yeah.
ahead. Oh, Alberto Puello versus Sabril Matias. That's what it is.
Hey, I like that fight. I think that fight right there is definition of maybe a 55-45, 50-50, 60-40 fight. I think that it's a fight of styles. So whoever's going to allow their style to shine bright that night will actually be the one that might come up the victor. I think that if you're going on the outside and you're using your length and your range and your skills working behind the jab, that works and benefits better for Puello. I think that if it gets close into the murky waters and it becomes a little bit of a bang fest and pause for the pause-worthy community, then it favors Matias. I think that Matias had one bad outing, and he got typecast because of that. And I think that he's interested in making his name back again and working off of a very strong contender. And Puello, I think that if he actually does find a way to navigate the fight inside, he'll start wearing him down with the body work. He's very crafty inside. He has excellent feet inside with purpose and with function. So if he can keep it there, I think that he can come out the victor in that fight. But if not, if it's on the outside, I favor Puello. But it's a great fight nonetheless.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we can get to talking about some of these fights a little bit too. Um, yeah, you got Puello versus Matias. That's gonna be a good one right there. What y'all think about that one right there? Alberto Puello, Matias, they fighting for Alberto Puello's WBC 140-pound title right there. That's gonna be a good one, man. This is definitely a style class with Alberto Puello being a pure boxer and Matias being a power puncher.
Yeah.
And we seen Matias with that fight that he had with Leon Paro, where he got outboxed and lost that fight in his hometown of Puerto Rico. And then he had a couple, pretty much showcase fights since then. Alberto Puello, he had his last fight against Sandor Martin, which he won that fight. A lot of people thought it was a little controversial, a little bit. Some people had Sandor Martin winning that fight, but Puello moved on. He won that fight. So you got these guys. Alberto Puello versus Sabril Matias for this 140-pound title, man, with this style class. Yeah, I like this matchup, man. What y'all think about it?
Yep, I do too. But it could be one of those fights where Pirlo, what's how you say his last name?
Puello.
Where he slow down. I think he can be up on the cards. It'd be one of those fights where Matias are just catchy, man. It might be one of those type of fights, man, where he end up catching up with him and he slows down. But I do like the fight, but he might become a 2-time champion. That's what it sounds like. He can pull that off and be a 2-time champ. So, the opportunity is there. We can only see.
My bad. Did I talk about the wrong fight? Did you ask about another fight and I talked about the wrong fight? Because I know I talked about Puello and Matias. Was you asking about another one?
Oh no, I was asking Big and Marcus' opinion on the Puello because I know you touched on it, but you had something to add more to it. You can go ahead, bro.
Oh no! I didn't mean to cut him off. I thought I was mistakenly
Oh,
talking
you know,
about that fight.
I was good. That was the fight. That was Belanga too. I don't know if he's getting into that or he just all the fights. He just talking about that one specifically. But yeah, I
Yeah,
like
we can
that
talk
fight.
about the card. We can talk about the card. I mean, yeah. What you think, Bean?
I'm about to sign off in a little bit, family. But if I had to give my take on it, man, I would say I love fights like that. A boxer and a puncher, or boxer brawlers and boxer slug. Man, I don't know. Let me do some. Let me look at them again and come back in the comments and throw something out there at a later date
Okay.
Okay,
to
okay,
make it
okay.
to make it
So
make more
shit.
sense. You know.
I don't know if you're familiar with Katiev. I know you a little bit more familiar with David Morrell. What you got on that?
Um,
Morrell putting them to sleep,
I'm
man.
an edge. I'm an edge Morel, man.
Morrell about to get a devastating knockout, bro.
I'm definitely gonna edge Morel. That's who I would go for, man.
It's coming. No, I like that fight, but yeah, I'm rooting for Morrell. Think he gonna get the. I'm going for. I hope he get a knockout. Probably gonna win on the cards, but I'm hoping he get a knockout. He need a bounce back that make people forget about his loss. But which was a good loss at that. It was still a good loss to David. Ain't no shame. Competitive fight, losing to David, man, ain't no shame in that. So, and then we got that Belanga fight. It's just he got to deliver. Belanga
Man,
he has got to deliver. He's hanging off just getting fights and not really winning nothing right now. It's like, bruh, like he's going on a loser tour and calling himself the A side, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a problem, bro. That you the A side and you coming off losses and losses, losses or performances not as
man.
good. So it's like, what are we talking about? So, but I like Belanga. I'm rooting for him, though. I definitely want him. We need a Puerto Rican star, or a guy that we can get behind and see. The sky's the limit, and
And
especially in the weight class. So that's why I'm gonna say that about Belanga. I like Belanga.
Oh,
it's
I
definitely a
got a
winnable
clip.
fight. Yeah.
I got a short clip real quick to show. The man Hamza Shiraz was over there around New York, man, wilding out, asking about this man Balaga right quick. Let me show this,
He
man.
goes by the name of Edgar Berlanga. Do you know who he is?
No.
Even Batman don't know. It's Hamza Shiraz. We're here at Times Square in New York. Edgar Berlanga says he's the king of New York. I think he's a sausage, but let's see what the public think.
I don't know who the fuck that is. Clearly, he don't run New York.
Heard of him?
Henry in New York.
Pete Davis is king of Staten Island. That's all I know.
An hour and 15 minutes. We ain't found nobody who said they know who he is. He goes by the name of Edgar Berlanga. Do you know who he is?
No.
No clue. Even though you're Batman and you know everyone in the city, you don't know who Edgar Berlanga is.
No.
Even Batman don't know. Do you guys know who Edgar Berlanga is?
No.
Do you have any clue who he is?
No, not at all.
And are you from New York?
Yes.
The little thing with you and him,
Yeah.
The face off, you're gonna knock him out. You'll knock him out.
We finally found someone who knows who he is. East London, same as me. No one knows who Edgar Berlanga is, and the only person who did is from East London, from where I'm from. So he only knows Edgar Berlanga because of me. Buy your tickets. It should be a great night. July the 12th. Let's go.
Hey, that boy, hey, Ring Magazine, they on, hey, Turkey said, hey, get Hamza Shiraz over there on Times Square asking if the New Yorkers know who Edgar Berlanga is for promo. We need ticket sales immediately.
This is this is a perfect time for merch too. I would tell them, like, man, give me about the 4% of that, because y'all would have a T-shirt with Belanga saying Belanga who. Had that merch drop, Belanga who, and that bad boy would go. They will, man. Look, them people will buy those shirts that support them. So that'll be a good time to drop some merch, man. New York, he's from New York. Belanga who? I don't know him, but that'd be funny. That's funny. That's good. That's good to build up, man. To talk about that, because that would bother Belanga. A lot of people from New York don't even know who you is. Like, oh,
Right. Yeah, did him all the way dirty.
So I hope it live up to the hype. I hope that fight live up and Berlanga really, try to get a knockout because he was buzzing when he was getting knockouts, bro. He was buzzing.
It's a winnable fight.
Nah,
That's the thing. It's definitely a winnable fight for him.
Mm-hmm. But he
absolutely. I
did.
think Berlanga got to get a knockout in this fight with Shiraz because Shiraz is the Riyadh season ambassador. He is Turkey guy. We seen what he did in that fight with Carlos Adames, man, when he went over there and hollered at Shiraz about the card, the scorecard and shit and
Uh-huh.
everything in the middle of the fight, you know what I mean? So Berlanga need a knockout, man, and he know it. He need a knockout with Shiraz to win this regardless. Because we know if he go to the scorecards, he is not winning on the scorecards unless he
Yeah,
pitch
no.
a clear shutout.
Hey Cam, hey, can I get my little bit because I'm about to have to sign off, bro.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead, go
do
ahead, go ahead, go
apologize.
ahead.
So like for the card, the main event, what you said, Shiraz and Berlanga. Berlanga got a puncher's chance. He can't go the distance, as you just spoke on, because he's Turkey's boy, and we saw what happened when he was down 3 and still lost, down 2 and still lost the last 3 rounds. So he ain't gonna outbox him either, because before the fight with Adames, before he hurt his hand in the 4th round, he was pretty much controlling that fight. So he can navigate the ring well. He moves well. He throws that jab, and he works behind that jab, and he punches in combinations. So and your boy is kind of susceptible to left hooks off of a straight jab. So Shiraz should be hold himself very well in that fight. I expect for him to win. I think Morel Kataev, it depends on the body work of Kataev. Kataev is a beast. He's very mean in the ring, and he works the right side of your, well, I think it's the left side of your body, but with the right hand. He throws a mean dig to the back of the where the kidneys is. And if he's effective with that, he can slow down Morel. But if Morel has learned anything from that fight with Benavidez, I would favor him. I think that he has dynamite in his hands. If he learns how to use his hands more effectively, more appropriately, more efficiently, and not mistake activity for achievement, ability for being accessible, and then also efficiency for effectiveness, we might see a coming out party for him. I think that for Stevenson, it's going to be a dog walk. I think he's going to be doggy daddy that day, and he's going to walk the hell out of, he's going to train the hell out of Cepeda. I don't think Cepeda has anything for him. I gave you what I thought on Puello Matias. I favor Matias, but Puello can definitely win that fight if he keeps it on the outside. And the other two, I wish I knew, because I don't know neither one of them, so I can't really comment on that. I hope it's a good fight, because it seems like the rest of them are. I will say this one last thing too. I think with people and how they do themselves today, and the fact that they promote and say wild things online and in interviews, is because we live in a day and age where people govern themselves around the phone and clicks, giggles, subscriptions, likes, and all that other stuff. We see people see a challenge and replicate that and try to do it better than the person that went viral, because they trying to go viral. So when you see people out there using other people to get that buzz off of them, or saying they whooped them and did all this stuff, it's because they trying to go viral. Because right now it's kind of hard to gain validation in public perception. You got to do something outlandish, something like flagrant, something super stupid or funny or wild for people to tap in and buy into it. So a lot of fighters have gone that route. And, unfortunately, it's not a lot of organic buzz these days. You got to manufacture it. And with that, you see a lot of people out there doing stuff because they're trying to manufacture something about them that people can believe and relate to. And we got to get to the point where we won't judge people off of bad performances, because in life, we don't always perform our very best. And we can't expect that of anyone else. So, man, I think that we need to get better with that regard. I think that we need to appreciate people for what they do in the ring, the training that they put in to get in the ring, and then the courage it has to step in that ring, because it's not easy taking somebody's best punches at your head, your gut, your stomach, your kidney, your liver, and still holding yourself up and maintaining a strong foundation and base. So shout out to them, and shout out to CamJ, shout out to Ohio Runs Boxing, shout out to Ring Walk, shout out to Cleveland for putting it on the map and having receipts, and shout out to the 5 styles of boxing. You guys have a good day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all my
We
people, man. Be
proved
good.
ourselves already.
Y'all hilarious, man.
Like, we'll stop tanking in the first round.
That's
Said
funny, man.
Shakur hands ain't even healed. We know we'll stop him in 5.
Yeah, he is a trip,
Oh
man.
man.
Auntie. That is
But
so
I
funny.
will say this too about the piggyback off what Marcus say before I go. Shout outs to Ohio Runs Boxing and CamJNetwork. Um, but what he was saying earlier, I think he's funny and he's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
although, like you say, he can exaggerate or go too far sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but in the full scheme of it all, and this type of environment, the boxing environment, it's cool to have somebody like that.
Yep. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? On
And he
entertainment
going hard.
aspect of it, you know.
Yeah, he just lie a little too much. The only thing we have to worry about is those casuals who literally take his word, or you know, just literally take his
Yeah,
word for every darn thing. You know, you got to worry
yeah,
about
they're
them.
ignorant. Yeah,
They're ignorant.
they're
They help
ignorant to the
create the
facts.
narrative. They're ignorant to the
Exactly.
facts. So that's why I did what
Yeah.
I did. You know, still got one more I'm gonna leak out eventually, but after that, I'm closing that because all my followers just get to share those posts and be like, man, shut up. You know what I mean? So that's what they gonna do. We gonna put an end to it, but that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It's about uh, supporting one another too. That's all my Ohioans, man, from Cleveland to Cincinnati to Toledo. I show
Yes,
love to
sir.
everybody else too, man. That's to support me in other states. But you know, when it comes to my boys, man, I'm going to war. That's just me.
Right. For sure. For sure.
But I'm about
Thanks,
here, man.
man. Yeah, man. This was a good one, man, for sure, man. Salute to
Definitely.
you, Marcus, my brother, man. Salute to you, man. Appreciate you always, man.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Being
I
ring.
appreciate it.
Yeah, everybody, make sure y'all follow my brother Marcus Ohio Runs Boxing on Facebook, Instagram. He on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Follow my brother, man. He drop his content over there, man. He always dropping gems on Ohio specifically, but he talks about the whole boxing landscape as well, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Support my brother and give him a follow on those social platforms as well. And my dog, Ring Walk Boxing Podcast, man. You got to briefly tell them what you got going tomorrow, man. 6 p.m. real quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what I plan to do, y'all, just so y'all know, is going to probably be a 2 segment show. I go live 6 p.m. every day. So what I might do is I might do a live that might be about half hour to 45 minutes, and then I'll roll into another one right after that and let it continue.
Yeah,
Because I
tell them what
got
you specific. Yeah, break down what you got going for us, the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what I got going on, y'all, for the first segment is I'm gonna have a guest who does a podcast out of Canada, and we're gonna get together and talk some boxing. Something we've been talking about for a while. We were in a boxing group together, so we started, emailing each other, whatever. He told me one day, like, "Hey, man, maybe we can get on each other's podcasts. I come on yours, you get on mine. So we're gonna merge it together, America and Canada, tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, for sure, man. For sure, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Ring Raw Boxing Podcast on this channel, man. He got some cooking up for sure tomorrow. USA versus Canada at 6 p.m. on this channel live. He's live every Sunday at 6 p.m. on this channel. So make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Bean from Ring Raw Boxing Podcast. Great content over there every week. You know what I'm saying? Every Sunday for sure. So tap in with him. And you already know, man, with your boy. Y'all watch this on the playback, man. Like and comment on the playback for sure, man. Tell us, you know what I'm saying, y'all opinions on the topics that we went over tonight, man. We definitely cooked up on some great topics tonight. This was definitely another fire ass show. We had to deep fry the whole Kid Austin fucking Abdullah Mason sparring session even more in depth, you know what I'm saying? And I think we did a hell of a job breaking that shit down. Salute to my brother Marcus from Ohio Run Boxing, you know what I'm saying, on that content for that. You know what I mean? And this was a great one, man, for sure, man. You already know we live every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. Sorry but not sorry, Boxing Talk Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Again, every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry but not sorry, Boxing Talk Wednesdays. And next Sunday, we'll be live in the afternoon for a roundtable show. It's gonna be a live ass roundtable show, man, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my brother Yamin in there, man. My boy, man, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Cincinnati shit. Let me go ahead and ranch him up real
What's
quick.
good, man?
So,
You know what I mean? But yeah, we up
yeah,
out
man.
here,
So
man.
this was a fire one, man. So we gonna be live Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure y'all put y'all notifications on for anything we got going on the channel, man. I got some I got some shows tomorrow. I got going tomorrow too for the high school kids in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be doing content, football content, boxing content, basketball, man. So we just staying active, man. So we're gonna keep it active. We got a lot of videos coming on the way, and we're gonna stay active and consistent for y'all most definitely. Yeah, I mean you gotta watch the playback, bro. Watch the playback. It was a dope ass show tonight, man. And salute to my sister Jag Queen Boxing. Make sure y'all subscribe to her. Salute to William Old School and D1 over there, Angry White Man Boxing Podcast. Subscribe to them. 2 Cents Boxing. Subscribe to her. Quee was in the building. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to her as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my family, man. I just I love this shit, man. This was dope tonight, man, for sure, man. Dope. Yeah, tax Bengals, man. Cincinnati shit, man. You know we a Bengals
Who
fan,
they,
man.
baby? Who
Oh,
they
y'all
for life?
forgot y'all both
Yeah.
from Cincinnati. I forgot y'all Natty boys, man. It's
Yeah,
Chicago.
man.
It's Chicago Bears over here, but you know what I'm saying.
Ah, man, you and Caleb Williams over there, man. That's
We
crazy,
bear
man.
down, baby. Bear down, man.
Man.
Only
You
in the
know we
Hey,
NFL.
hey,
represent.
Only in the
you talk about
NFL,
the
man.
Bears. You got me reminiscing. R.I.P. to Walter Payton.
Yeah, my boy. Yeah, I was young, man. They won the Super Bowl. I was 1 year old.
Yeah.
Dang, that's so bad. But yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all already know I'm gonna continue to hold the state down when it comes to this boxing, man. But I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Man, for
For
sure, man.
sure,
This was a
man.
great one, man. Sorry but not sorry, Boston Talk. And we are out of here. Salute to everybody, man. Enjoy y'all weekend, man. We out of here.
We out.